We're back, season 2. It's become a theme. I don't know what episode number this is, but we're just gonna dive in. I am with the legend, doofdum himself. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, dude, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Yeah. I always kick off the name. Doofdum, interesting name. Finally, I've been dealing with so many, this is just my first and last name. I'm excited to finally get a name origin, name story. Talk to us.
Yeah, so I actually mentioned this in one of the videos on my YouTube, but that was actually...
Whoops, I missed that one.
Oh, no. I don't expect anything like that. But, Is that you, Liz? You want to come say hi?
Not right now.
No? Okay.
Come be famous later.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So, that was actually my first RuneScape character.
Oh, okay.
I found RuneScape back in the day. It was probably I think I was in 4th grade. I grew up here, and then I moved down to Florida, and right after I got down to Florida was when I ended up making my first email and my RuneScape account. And it was just a random thing I thought of. I was I wanted it to be it's literally just a random name I thought of. I wanted something that looked cool, the letters, and everything. It just looks kind of cool to look at and has a catchy thing to it, and it's doofdum. But I know that it's kind of a stupid sounding name. It's very I feel like I googled it at one point and it said plural for doofus, but that's not true. That's not fucking true.
Multiple doofi.
Yeah, doofy. But yeah, that was my RuneScape character, which I don't have anymore. I don't actually have that one anymore. I had a RuneScape girlfriend for a day that fucking...
Oh, no.
Hacked my shit, yeah.
Damn.
And she took my doofdum... It was probably a dude. Took my doofdum at hotmail.com and my little, low-level ass character. But yeah, that was my RuneScape character.
How old were you at the time making that up?
10 or 11.
10 or 11? Okay. That's kind of a 10 or 11 name. Not it translated well. It aged well. It becomes a unique what? I wonder what the story is behind that.
Yeah, but it is very childish kind of thing. So I'm like that though, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Was
that your first game name?
That was probably the first thing I ever created in my whole life.
Yeah. Interesting. That's so cool though.
Because before
add in the email.
Yeah, exactly. Before you have an internet, an alias, or you make your Twitter ad, or this.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of that. That was my first time ever being exposed to the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was also my first time. I'd never written a song, written a poem, drew an original picture.
Yeah.
I never done any of that before. That was the first thing I ever created. And yeah, dude, it just always stuck with me. Anytime that became my Xbox and my World of Warcraft, dude, which was oh my god, dude, I had a huge World of Warcraft addiction for a long time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I kept getting hacked 2-3 times. So okay, Blizzard, Universe, you guys win.
I remember one time my shit got hacked and I logged in. I somehow happened to log in when the hacker logged out. I was able to get into my account when it was hacked, and I remember I logged in. I think it was Cataclysm, or it might have still been Wrath of the Lich King.
Okay.
But I feel like it was Cataclysm, and I logged in and I had 100k, which was a lot to me because that was my first character. But I remember logging in and it was oh shit, all my stuff is gone. But I had 100k, so fuck it, I'm just gonna change my password and turn on my authenticator and keep the gold.
Yeah. That's dope. Mine was this very similar. They sold all my stuff, but I was one of the first I don't know if it was 100 people. One of the very first people to make it through Black Temple. I had the Black Temple tabard, one of the top whatever. I was why did you take my stuff, level me up, and
Black Temple was level 60, right?
No, it was
or was that BC?
Lich King. I think it was BC.
Black Temple was BC. Yeah, Black Temple was BC then.
Yeah, and I was well, thank you. You really helped me out, but I have no stuff, but I have this cool tabard, and then my authenticators got flipped where it was authenticating the wrong account, and I was okay, you win.
Shit.
I'm done. This is,
I quit playing it, bro, just because I quit having fun with it. I used to love doing the arenas and stuff on there. That was my favorite. Still to this day, probably, besides Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty was my favorite online gaming experience ever, bro. I love being able to I played Warrior and Priest and just loved it so much. Like, there's nothing like that, but it's just not the same now, and it's become so cheese dick, like, super unbalanced, so it's just, like, not fun, and it's, like, you're kind of playing flavor of the month, whatever's, like, you know, if people, it's, like, mage, or what it's, you know, usually. Yeah, exactly, and I'm glad, I guess I wasn't the only one. I was kind of addicted at the same point when they made dailies, and I'm going on for 3-4 hours, like, a day, just doing the same quests because they're my dailies, and I was like, I'm not having fun anymore, and this is eating my time. You could be doing that in real life. I could be doing that in real life, grinding towards something, so, yeah, I definitely feel that. That's what I was on, too, dude, and then I ended up I started producing and all that stuff kind of in the middle of my WoW, but I remember that being the first, like, before I started making music, it was like, I love that shit, dude, like, and it was, like, I kind of had to take a step away from gaming for a while, because that shit definitely went, I just went way overboard with it. Do you have, like, an addictive personality? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was, like, addicted to weed. I'm definitely addicted to weed right now, but when I, like, first started smoking, dude, it was so bad, like, I lived in an apartment with a guy that I worked with at Walmart. Cool dude. Shout out Corey, but... Shout out Corey. Yeah. He had, like, lost his job. This dude's real ripped, like, worked out a lot, and went to the gym and broke his foot with, like, a 100-pound plate. He dropped it on his foot. On purpose? On accident? Or, like... Who the fuck knows, man? I was just like... Corey, tell us in the comments. Like, no, yeah, he definitely did it on accident, but... Then he was out of a job, so, like, he didn't have his half of the rent. And then I was, like, working at Taco Bell. I have, like, horrible job experience. I've never really had a good... That's why what I was saying about Sweetwater. Yeah. But, Corey. Broke his foot, didn't have his half of the rent, World of Warcraft producing. Yes, I'm dealing with that. Like, I had just started producing around then when I stayed in that apartment. How old were you, would you say? 2021. Okay, so a solid 11 years as doofdum. Yeah, technically, I guess so. You know, it's weird, too, because even in high school, you know, I keep thinking, like, it wasn't really, like, a lot more people know about me now that, like, I do what I do now, but... Yeah. Even in high school, like, my gamer buddies and people that I hung out with all the time, I hung out with them because we played games together. I don't have, like, a common ground with, you know, usually it's a couple things with people here and there, you know, where I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like, it's nice being able to connect with people through something, though, you know. Yeah, for sure. Like, but yeah, they were all my gamer buddies, so they all called me doofdum. Yeah. You know, in the hallway, doofdum, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a hoodie from the band, the high school marching band, that we got to pick our name, and I put doofdum for my name. That's so cool. Yeah, I was like, I might as well. I feel like that's going to be more special to me later than, like, Shannon, because I never, like, played sports or anything like that, and, like, had my last name type shit. Like, I tried doing baseball conditioning one year and fucking vomited, like, every night, and then I ended up getting the flu that week, too, and so my muscles were, like, quadruple sore. Yeah, like, I can imagine your bones to inside out all completely sore. Yeah. So what point did it become, because I guess it's interesting to me to hear you just made it up on a whim. You're like, doofdum, but then it became, like, the gamer tag, which kind of makes sense, but then it transitioned into, like, almost you, like you said, the alias and artist persona brand, and stuff. Basically, yeah. When did that kind of, I mean, you kind of said maybe when you were working at the Walmart or whatever, but how did it become, like, you know what, this is me now. I am doofdum. Or would probably you almost when I started dropping beats, honestly. I mean, it's just always, like, anytime I kick something new up, like, okay, like, I didn't have Xbox Live a lot of the time growing up, but I got it in, like, 10th or 11th grade. What's my gamer? I'm like, it's got to be doofdum. Anytime I made a new email or an account or a website, I was just like, nobody ever has that but me. You Google that, and it's, like, all me. So, and it is completely original, so I'm just like, I'm just going to do that for everything. Like, it sounds kind of stupid. That wasn't really the point of it. I just really liked the way doofdum looked. Like, it's mud food backwards. I remember one guy in high school. I like that. Yeah, he's like, mud food, and he started calling me mud. I'm like, why are you calling me that? He's like, doof, isn't that why you... I'm like, no, that's not why I did. Isn't that why you must want it to be? Really weird, but no, I didn't make it because of that at all. It just happens to be that spelled backwards. But yeah, no, it's just it just always stuck, and I always really liked it. But though I do remember when my doofdum RuneScape account got hacked, my new account was Goku Dynamite. I named it Goku Dynamite because obviously Goku was, I was like,
you're that age
weeb back then, yeah. And I really liked Napoleon Dynamite.
What a great combo! That's such that age group too, because that was everything about both of those things was
back then. Like, it was
and like all
technically I think GT was out back then, but still, people that were old enough to like fuck with Napoleon Dynamite were old enough to fuck with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, that was just, it was like a no-brainer to me. Like, I just never really thought of, like, I have thought about rebranding, but I don't know. I don't know about my personal thing. Like, it's probably always going to be doofdum, just because that's, like, I grew up like that, literally.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have, like, problem that I'm running into now, though, is, like, a game, like, I live stream games a lot, and I make music, and then it's, like, on my main channel, it could be like, it's a bunch of music shit, but then could turn right back around and I hop on a live stream and I'm gaming.
Yeah.
And I might go live 10 times that day with my internet fucking up or like whatever. And so then I'll go and like, fuck, just lost my train of thought.
The branding.
It's just, it's so convoluted. Like, and then I'm like, man, like I really don't want... Though, like, my YouTube channel, my doofdum channel, I want to be, like, music. It's mainly, like, a music, like, multimedia thing. Like, I want to just, like, make really good content. Like, I want the look of the camera compositions, and I want it all to look as good as possible. I don't really read as much as I should, but I definitely, like, dude, there was one... Let me find it here real quick.
Okay. Just
to show you. And I'll send it to you. But there's one YouTube video that I found that was, I think it's called, it's in my favorites somewhere.
Okay.
But it's called like The Secrets to Color Grading or some shit. And this girl is talking about how like, I'm not going to go too deep down this tangent. I have a tendency to kind of do this. But
it's okay. YouTube
I know you doing what you do, dude, like you'll think this is really cool. And you probably know a lot more about this stuff than I do. But this girl basically talks about color harmony, color psychology, how like, purple means certain emotions, yellow means certain things, like royalty and wealth, and anger is like red, and like stuff like that. But she even goes on to talk about how like there's like dominant and recessive colors.
Right.
How like if you have like a blue background, and it basically talks about like, let me pull up the diagram real quick. I'm not gonna play
this is cool. We're like Joe Rogan as hell right now, where he's like, so and so, pull up the video. We're like, I got a video.
They talk about how like cool colors are recessive and warm colors are dominant. You kind of notice. I swear it looks like there's a drop shadow on this.
It does, yeah.
And I'm not sure if that is my eyes playing tricks on me or not.
Well, my eyes are playing the same tricks if so, because I'm definitely with you. There's something about it.
It looks like this is sticking out, and there's a drop shadow down onto the blue. But then here it looks like a hole. And there's the orange, so it's like literally... It's not there, bro. There's not really a shadow there. Like
it's not there, bro.
No, it's really not. Like
Verified,
I feel like they did it to just like exaggerate. I used to do like before and afters. And like... of my mixing, and I remember I would use the most ass-sounding version of the song I could find. Yeah. Which is, like, not really fair. Like, it should be, like, the dry vocals, then the mixed vocals, not, like... So adding a drop shadow... But, dude, no, it's literally... I really don't... It might be there, bro. It kind of does actually look like it's there. Yeah. But that is a thing, though, because she shows other stuff, too, like the photo of this chick here... How, boom, what do you see? What's the first thing you see? Lipstick.
Oh, I would have said the dress. Oh, but you're the red in general is what you're saying.
The red, yeah, and the background being blue, or sorry, green. A cool
it's got
color.
the blue tint to it. It's definitely
the blue and yellow.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
It would look like Christmas if it was full green versus anything. So
exactly. There's another photo that shows
Hey, got the ad. Mondays, am I right?
This shit made me really want to dive deeper into learning about visual art. I've just never really. Okay, so this photo starts off like this.
Yeah.
But then she talks about how they take the background, turn it cool, boom, brings the skin tones out more.
Yeah, you get the contrast just like we saw in those other pictures. Yeah.
This is some
I want to quickly touch on to another interesting feature.
Euro girl, dude. These are her photos. She is fucking incredible.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Equiluminant color. I don't know. This is really interesting too. I don't remember exactly what she talks about here, but just explaining luminosity to hue to saturation, which people don't get. I still don't completely get it, but I kind of understand. Because she showed this brown. She's technically this would be an orange, but the luminosity is super or whatever is super dark. So it's a very dark version of an orange, but it would technically fall there on the color wheel.
Right.
I love that shit, dude. I don't even remember.
I don't either. I was trying to I was I wonder where we're going, but I love the journey. It was cool.
Yeah, I think I was talking about just just kind of the look that I'm going for with everything and how I with my YouTube channel and my content that I make, but everything being convoluted with video gaming stuff, I was I don't really like this. I don't like going to my channel and everything is games. When I have a couple really good videos that I made that are totally apples to oranges, so I was rather fucking sugar snap peas to fucking potatoes. So I was I made a forehead squad gaming. I ended up making on my live. I was let's call it forehead squad. What am I gonna? Because everybody has whenever people subscribe to them, welcome to the club. What's the exclusive club gonna be called? So I call it forehead squad, and then my Discord's forehead quarters. Shit like that. So it's instead of rebranding, I thought maybe I would like it better if I just went and had just different little micro channels that I would use for different things. Because for example too, I had a couple really high quality videos on my main YouTube channel, but then I had hella tight beats way in the middle of everything. I'm just I don't like the way this looks. And then one of my buddies that raps was just explaining to me he's pretty smart about marketing and shit, just what draws him to a certain type beat channel to listen to certain things, and he's we're in a Discord call and he's sharing his screen. He's look, and he clicks and he's look, click on the videos and scroll down. You see how everything looks just from a broader perspective? And I'm oh yeah, I get it. And I don't think about that. I'm very I think in micro all the time and in the moment very much with everything. And that kind of got me thinking okay, and he was, even kind of critiquing my channel and stuff that he thought would be, I'm okay, I feel you, I feel it might be a good idea to just kind of break certain things off, have the gaming kind of be its own thing. But I can have certain plays because it is my personal brand, and I feel connecting with people on social media and stuff is if you show them a little bit more about yourself, getting your oil change, for example. I'm just saying, showing people kind of a deeper look into what you're doing outside of your what you have to show the world goes a lot deeper than art that content that you've created with other people. So I have on my Twitch is definitely still I've been gaming heavily lately. I got this computer a year ago and started editing. I love editing on this, bro. I'm pretty much only going there for sessions or if somebody sends me a mix, I work in there. Otherwise I'm hanging out in here. I have the TV on and
it's a good vibe over here. It's a nice creative vibe.
Exactly. I don't have that in there because it's the kitchen and
but that's interesting. I like the critique of the page because I've been arguing with myself on both spectrums where I'm I want it to be perfect where I'm like, because I do the gaming stuff as well, and I've got some interviews, it's got music videos.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want it convoluted, but at the same time, there's part of me that's like, if they like me,
exactly,
they'll fuck with everything I do, but then also at the same time, like, your friend was like, this doesn't look clean, and this doesn't...
Even the people that fuck with you, though, are ADD. Like, we're all in this age of, like, you know, if they're getting on and they want to deep dive and they're like, oh, and all they see are a bunch of 8-hour-long videos of me playing Call of Duty or some shit. You know what I mean? It would be a little more, like, you definitely eat with your eyes and with your nose, and, you know, it goes deeper than what you're actually doing. And yeah, people fuck with you. People fuck with me, but that can become a thing. So I feel it. But yeah, you know, it is too though. That's the nice thing about like marketing is just everybody can do it their own way. Like I can try this out, and I might realize later that I liked it better how it was before. Yeah. Because when you have all these different channels, it's like, oh, I gotta go all the way over here. Mm-hmm. The ADD kicks in. Yeah. But like I like when people fuck with me, but I'm definitely looking to, like, lock into my niches as hard as possible. Like, I'm not, like... I have, like, my shit that I'm good at, which I would say leans more towards, like, the mixing and mastering. Yeah. Or just, like, producing the whole record and, like, helping with the songwriting and stuff and doing the whole thing with somebody. But, I really want to, like... I'm not like an authority on anything like that because I'm never a part of the conversation. I'm not on Twitter trying to like get engagement tweets and stuff like that. I usually like get on there to bitch about stuff, like,
which is cool because I think I had seen doofdum. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Like I've heard that all the time. Everybody I'm listening to, and had you not been doing that, I don't know that we would have had any sort of even online relationship because it's like I remember the candles thing where I used to something about candles. I was like, yo, check these candles out. Yeah, the lemon pound cake from check them out. Giant Eagle.
We got that. Yeah. That shit's. Oh yeah, I think I told you, dude. That was like fire. One of the best candles ever.
Right. Yeah, and if you hadn't been just bitching about stuff on Twitter, like
that Target candle. It was that Target candle, bro. That I paid like $15 or some $12 for. That was trash. Like that was like $6-7, and that was such a good. And it like smelled like cake too, like
exactly.
It was so good. Dude.
Yeah, and it was cool to like I can feel like I can talk with you and talk to you, and I know you a little bit more from your tweets, and I hope that mine are similar as well. People can be like, I get this guy. We can talk.
I definitely feel like I can connect with you more. Like I like to be able to do that with everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, like so. I've been fucking with Twitter heavily, bro. I used to not like. Really ever be on there because I used to just mainly make beat making videos on IG. Right. Like IG was more the fuck out. Ooh. Yeah, he'll sniff
Good
it. Good
eye, man. You were on it.
Yeah, I have like a spidey sense with him. He's a little fucker.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what were we talking about a second ago?
I guess Twitter versus Instagram, which is cool. That was one of my questions, and I'm glad you fuck with Twitter more because Instagram is like I don't get why it's so like fun for everybody. Twitter seems way more fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've had Twitter since I think like 2011 or 2012 or something like that, but so. I think in like 2018 or so, like I had botted my IG up and I had like 18K on there at one point, and I used to be able to post videos and I would get like 1,000 hits an hour on it basically.
Damn, yeah.
I mean, at least for like, and it would go for an hour to 3 hours to sometimes 8 hours, and I would get like, you know, maybe like 7K on a video, which was cool, but it was like, I wasn't getting... I went and I looked up the actual engagement that I was getting, and it was really bad. And it hit the point where, like, my shit was blacklisted and nobody was seeing my stuff that I was posting. And, and then I'm like, damn, so I look fake as fuck out here, like... And I don't know, I just don't like that. Like, I don't like looking like I buy my plays type shit.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to, I feel like, engage on Instagram, which is what I think is so fun for me about Twitter, is like, if you post something, I could comment on it, and we could, it seems much more like conversational, but Instagram is like, we're talking on this picture, or we're just DMing, which I could just text you. Like, it seems silly.
Yeah, I definitely feel slightly more disconnected with people on Instagram, for sure. I just like doing it because it was like, that was kind of how I started getting into videos, and I felt like that was the best platform where I got the best engagement posting my videos. So
yeah,
where I would just do finger drumming on my machina. But Twitter, I definitely feel a lot more connected with people. Like, whether they're replying or even if they're, like, DMing on Twitter hits different than DMing on IG to me.
For sure, yeah.
You know? I mean, and I hear, like, a lot of freelancers that are, like, their main thing is Twitter. They make most of their money off Twitter. And I remember for a long time, I didn't make any money off Twitter. I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't get it. But then I hit a point where, like, it just kind of became like my diary anytime I didn't have nobody to talk to and I just want to like put my thoughts out there. It's a nice way to do that, and then you end up finding out, you know, like some shit I was talking about today, for example. It was just cool to like connect with so many different people, just because I was talking about freelancing in general and just how the shit kind of sucks. Like, there's some shit that's really cool about it, but if you really want your freelancing shit to work, like, you have to spend an absurd amount of time on it, and you don't. A lot of times, it's just hard to track metrics, like, and then there's just the commission side, 100% commission based. Like, if you're not, you know, if you're not putting yourself out there, you're working with a lot less people, and I kind of quit putting myself out there around like 2020. Like, I mean, I still am like working actively. I'm very lucky that like I've connected and built relationships with the people I work with, that like even if I'm not posting before and afters of my mixes, like people know that I'm always available to work, and they just always come to me. So it's like I might not be posting all the time, but I was always working even before. Like, now that I have my kid, it's like, you know, even more of a thing. But
and it's interesting with you. I'm wondering if it's similar, because if I make a video, it's not just me that I have to grind promotion and whatever. I admittedly probably lean too much on the other person, but they can also do it too. And so you could have a song with Zelly, and Zelly's posting it all over the place, and you don't necessarily have to do as much grinding, you know, to get it out there. And if he reposts a song from a year ago, it's like, oh, Doofdum's back, and it's like you're always top of mind, even if you're not doing anything, because you're collaborating like with other people. A
lot of people like that don't really put on for me as much as, you know, but I'm not even working with Zelly that heavily right now. I actually need to revise a mix for him.
Okay.
But I'm just not like, I don't know, shit should be kind of touchy working with certain people. Like, he's cool for the most part, but Zelly has, like, that dude has probably hundreds of engineers that are begging him to send him shit to mix, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just not like, I'm trying to, you know, there's like a lot of people that are in it to like clout chase and kind of climb the totem pole, and I'm trying to make money and like actually pay my bills. So it's like, you know, with Zelly, like, we make money, I would say, more from like dropping songs than by me mixing his stuff for him. He knows how to mix, like, so I'm not even like really pressed about doing stuff for him. I'm more pressed about, like, because it's just like being an engineer is like tough, bro. Like, we don't get paid a percentage, we get paid a flat fee. For it's like being a video guy. You don't get a royalty if you make a song blow up with your video. You got your flat fee, and if you post it on your channel, you get like a couple pennies of ad revenue.
Once I hit fucking 1,000 subscribers and 1,000 all this stuff too, so it's like
exactly, you know.
So how do you, like, because one of my questions too is it's kind of me asking for tips and tricks, but also just curious, how do you balance like freelancing, being a dad, being gaming yourself, like family, like how it seems like you're balancing. Okay, it seems like you're killing it. So whatever you're doing,
I'm trying. Like, I mean, like, I guess like the main thing is for me is like getting it to the point where I'm not flipping the fuck out all the time over everything, and I'm not quite there, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, my girl came back on her break earlier, and she's like 7-8 years older than me, has management experience, so she's able to get the good jobs.
Yeah.
I met her at Taco Bell, but she was a manager. I was making tacos.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never
Let me put my beef in your taco. She's like,
okay.
Exactly.
I've never...
You're good at that. Like.
Yeah, basically. And we... But she's always, like, just kind of been in management. And what I'm doing now is the longest I've held a job, the most money I've made. And I don't make a lot of money. But it's better than working a whole year at Taco Bell. And I get to spend my time how I want. So it's like, if I make 10 or 15K in a year, at least I got to spend my time doing what I want. You know what I mean? And,
right. Which could be more valuable than the money if you get to, you get to eat and live and,
That's why I got into this. Like, last job I had was actually working at Sheetz.
Okay. I didn't get hired at Sheetz. I interviewed and I didn't get hired.
I got hired over there in 2013 or 2014, and I worked there for about 6 months. And when I made $9.50 an hour, and I remember after 6 months, they're like, we'll bump you up to 10. And I was like, oh, shit.
Bump you up to 10.
Dude, I was excited because I was making $7 an hour. Like, I've made straight up minimum wage. I made 50 cents extra at Walmart, but Walmart was a ripoff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at Sheetz, I was like, oh damn, like I just saw it as like cool. Then I could say that I made 10 an hour. I just I was trying to find little ways to move up. I had just gotten kicked out of YSU back then. Like I got kicked out of college because I never went to class enough. Like,
oh, okay. Well, what made you go and what made you not go? Like, what made you go to college? What made you not go to the class and get yourself kicked out?
Well, I went to college because I got pretty good at saxophone, so I've been...
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I don't play anymore. I'm going to get another one eventually, but I got pretty good at saxophone, and I started playing that when I was, 14, 7th grade.
Mm-hmm. You were in, school band, I'm assuming. I think you mentioned, the doofdum hoodie or something.
Yeah, that was actually in high school way after that, but...
Okay.
Before, I joined band in 7th grade, and usually people join in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, so I was, comparatively, I was at least a year behind everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I just mainly played video games. I would play outside with my friends in the backyard, football and soccer and shit like that, and, catch with the baseball,
Mm-hmm.
Or we would be on bullshit vandalizing shit.
It was fun back in the day. I remember used to doing some crazy shit too.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, you could go to jail, Devin. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm a lot more careful now.
Yeah. Sorry to derail. We're talking saxophone, getting kicked out of college.
Yeah, I lived with my parents split up when I was really young, and I stayed with my mom for a while, and then in 7th grade I moved in with my dad. When I moved in with my dad, I joined band basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
did he make you, or what made you decide you're doing?
I just wanted to play saxophone. It was just a random kind of like how I came up with doofdum, and it was a very random thing. I saw a saxophone. My dad played trumpet, so I messed with his old trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool, but something about saxophone, I felt like the reed and the mouthpiece and everything, and I felt like, oh, this might be a lot more fun to play a woodwind than to play a brass where you're through the mouthpiece,
Yeah.
I didn't like that method of producing the sound as much as... But I had never played a saxophone. I didn't really know what to expect, but I just thought just breathe through it, and it makes kind of like a beefed up recorder. Right. I thought, and it isn't too far off from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess a recorder is closer to maybe a cross between a flute and a clarinet.
Yeah, something like that, like the beginner clarinet or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wanted to play saxophone randomly, and I remember joining band, and my director said, well, usually we start people off on clarinet the first year and then move you up to a saxophone, but we'll just start you off on sax. He was impressed about it.
Yeah.
And I got this really cheap $200 beginner horn that my grandma bought from... My grandparents are the best. They literally bought me like 3 different saxophones, kept upgrading my shit as I kept getting better. Yeah, and I eventually stayed with my dad 7th, 8th, and part of 7th, and then all of 8th and 9th grade, and then I moved out of his house, and I lived down in Florida for like 5 years around.
Did they, because you said you started up here, and then you moved to Florida and then back, one went to Florida and one stayed here?
My mom was from Florida, and she kind of like snatched us and took us down. Like, her and my dad didn't get along. My dad's from Ohio. She moved up here to be with him. They split up and were cheating on each other and shit like that. And
I see.
We're in a super toxic young relationship. Mm-hmm. They were, my mom was like 18 when she had me. 17
Are you the oldest, or do you have? I guess you have siblings even.
Yep, I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And you're the oldest?
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep. So, yeah, I moved down to Florida in 4th grade, in the middle of 4th grade, and then I left after I finished 9th grade that summer. I used to, basically, when I moved to Florida, I would come up every year or two to meet with my grandparents. They would drive, they went, like, they do, even with, like, my son that I've had now, like, they're just so amazing, and they do so much to help keep me on my feet and keep things going, and providing, you know, it's just nice, because, you know, sometimes you're in a tough spot and, you know, you need help with stuff, and they've just always been there to kind of like help push me to be the best that I can be. Whenever I moved up here was when I started actually taking saxophone lessons. Like, I kind of had an ear for it, and I knew, like, well, I knew how I wanted things to sound back then, but like the vision I had in my head was very rough. Hi, Gabby. But taking lessons, like, put me in a direction where I was really able to, like, this guy was like, this is how you want to sound. Here's how you get there. Here's the standard. Here's how you get there, you know. And then I learned about scales, and I mean, I knew scales from band class, but he showed me how I'm supposed to practice it on my instrument and get better at them and blah blah blah, and just basically taught me a really nice, like, just cookie cutter method for like getting good at anything, which is you know, his whole thing was basically like practice slow as possible that you can play it perfectly, and then slowly bring the tempo up, even if it's 1 BPM. And play it perfectly, like 10 times in a row, bump it up 1 click. And if you can do 4, 6, 10 clicks and still do it, then, you know, do it. But he basically explained it as like, playing something on an instrument slowly is like, it's like putting something under a microscope and trying to find the flaws in it, you know, like, really you're stretching out the cleanliness, you know, to the click. If you're you know, all those discrepancies become apparent in your flaws in your technique when you have to play something super slowly.
That's awesome, and I love that you said cookie cutter. Oh, is it okay?
No, yeah, you're good. I was gonna say, you know, this guitar that I got here, I'm like trying to learn how to play that, but it's like, now that I took, from having taken saxophone lessons, like, I would probably still take guitar lessons just to kind of have like a fire lit under my ass to like get to work on it, but if I could just self-start a little bit better, maybe drink more coffee or something, like, I could do that all myself, just like knowing how to, like, because I already know how the scale patterns and you know, pentatonic scales, and I'm trying to like kind of dive into like the caged method. So I haven't really practiced too much yet, because I know, like, okay, I built bad habits before on saxophone that is a bitch reversing bad habits on an instrument. You tend to just kind of do things the way it works for you, and then you end up with like a fucked up wrist later, or like carpal tunnel, or your jaw or your mouth, or biting into your lips if you're on like a woodwind. So you know, it's, taking lessons was a really nice way to kind of build like a foundation for practicing everything else that I'm doing now, even editing videos and color grading. It's just like, if I want to learn how to do that, walk around the block and take some photos of some cool shit, and, you know, try to, you know, I like to work on like compositions. Like, I care more about the lighting and the shot actually looking good than like the colors popping out a lot, or, you know, using a certain type of LUT or like whatever. it's just really nice having like knowing how I can kind of go out and practice that. What were you gonna say though? When I interrupted you?
Oh, you expanded on it without even me having to finish my sentence, which is great because I was just gonna say it was cool that you said cookie cutter for getting good at anything. Yeah, and then you just expanded on literally just that. Yep. So you don't even need me, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, with video games like or with anything like, I'm pretty competitive with like most of what I do, so it's like. I just want to figure out the fastest way to kind of shortcut to get to where I need to be. Like, for mixing, for example, like, I've mixed a shit ton of songs. Like, I've mixed probably at least 1,200. But I don't know, because when I was in Youngstown, like, I would have people come through, and we would make, like, 7 songs in a night.
Yeah.
And then they would come through the next day, and we would do the same shit. And then they would come through 2 days after that, and... You know, not every single day, but I used to be booked like 4 or 5 days a week out there, and my rates were super cheap back then. Like I started off free. That's what I was gonna say. Is like I wanted to. Okay, so like with my jobs and shit that I worked, like they were all ass. Like it was all Taco Bell, Walmart,
Sheets.
Sheets. I worked for a pyramid scheme company selling DirecTV out of like Sam's Club for a month, and I got fired.
Probably for the best. You don't want to get stuck in one of those.
And then he got closed down a couple weeks after that because he was like borrowing money for overhead off of other people within the pyramid scheme company.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he was becoming like a big leech and wasn't like making money. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But, have you heard of the hot dog shop?
No.
Okay, they're pretty fire. They're down over. There's one in Girard, which is by Youngstown. That's very, very good. Like
okay.
But they're just a hot dog spot. They have like cheddar chili fries. There's one in. I'm from East Liverpool. I don't know if you know where that is.
No, I have no clue. I know the Beatles, Liverpool. That's about it. That's my experience with East Liverpool.
You've heard of Steubenville, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Steubenville is kind of like over east and then like down south a ways, and they're kind of on the river.
Right.
East Liverpool's kind of up, like north of Steubenville, but still one of those like river cities that used to have like coal industry and steel industry, and they were... East Liverpool used to be the pottery capital of the world.
Whoa, and, okay.
Yeah, but they're just one of those towns that like basically turned into Akron or like Youngstown or just like heroin addicts. And I mean, it's not, I feel like Akron's like got its own problems with like the panhandlers and shit, bro. I fucking hate that shit out here so much. Like, I understand why it's like a thing now, because a lot of those people are like mentally ill and they can't like get help, and that's how the only way they can really make money. But hella heroin problems over in like the like Steubenville and East Liverpool, and East Liverpool's right on the river, right by, it's basically like from my hometown, like I can drive 5 minutes and be in PA or West Virginia.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's like,
it's that far.
Yeah, it's right on the river, and there's a bridge that goes right over in West Virginia, and then like it's maybe like 10-15 minutes into PA. No, Midland is 10 minutes. Yeah, 5-10 minutes. Like,
okay.
I need to go back home sometime. I'm thinking about like there's a couple little hot dog shop back there. Like,
yeah,
that was like that was my first job, and they make like cheddar chili dogs and French fries, and they have this cheese sauce that's like got a really good like cheddar taste to it. Ooh. It's really good.
Like homemade type.
I don't know. They come in these big white buckets, but it tastes like it. It tastes so good. It's like if you've ever had really good like baked homemade mac and cheese or something, where they like put a bunch of different cheeses. It's just very cheesy, like kind of like that, dude. Like very strong, like cheddar, nice, like you know how like sharp cheddar's like nice and salty, like kind of like that. It's not like Taco Bell. Because they use like their shit's amazing. I love Taco Bell's cheese, but it's more a jalapeno nacho cheese. But this is like a cheddar cheese sauce. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to book a trip out to the hot dog shop, man.
Yeah, dude, we can go out or something sometime. Yeah. Like, we can find some shit to do out there for sure, bro. Like, yeah, but we met in person one time before, right?
Yeah, we met. It's funny. It was like 2 years. I guess it was 2020.
Yeah.
Lil Zelly show, like right around this time, I think. Yeah. Okay. And it's funny because I didn't realize at the time how big that show was. I've been hitting up some people for interviews too, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not even from Ohio." I was like, "But you were at the show in Ohio. Why were you in Akron?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I came in from
shout
wherever."
Out Night Runner.
Yeah, Night Runner. Yeah, shouts out Night Runner. He put that was magical.
Mm-hmm. He's really good at bringing people together, man. He brought a lot of people out that I got to meet and work with from out of state. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he does it because I can't. I mean, his situation's different. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. But
he's like a machine, great energy, and I will text him within 3 seconds. I have a text back. It's insane. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
Shouts out Night Runner, man. Glad you exist, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I fuck with him.
Yeah. So we're back getting kicked out of college, saxophone. Why are we in college? Are we in there for saxophone? What was
Yeah. I went for music education, so I started taking saxophone lessons, and
And you wanted to be like...
I was a really good, like, classical player for my level of experience. Like, I picked up on it really quick. Like, I feel like I had a really good knack for that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I might have an even better knack for mixing and mastering, but that was my thing. Like, I had, like, a really good tone. I had to work on my technique and clean it up a little bit, but any, like, lyrical, like, expressive piece of music, I was really good at playing shit. I loved playing stuff like that. Yeah. I wanted to, like, I remember I had these big plans. I wanted to get, like, a PhD, like, in performance type shit.
Ooh, okay.
I had, like, these schools planned out of these professors that I wanted to study with that I knew who they were. Yeah. Because a saxophonist is, like, I would say even classical musicians is a very small community of people. They all know each other, you know, like... You have your military band people, then you have, you know, your people that are in, like, the symphony orchestras that are real famous. And those are, like, the top dogs. And then you have, you know, good, you know, performing artists, you know, that are, like, jazz artists. I'm talking, I guess, more classical. But even in the military band, they have, oh, man, they're the most, like, incredible players ever. But, yeah, I wanted to get, like, a performance degree. And, I went out to Indiana University when I was looking for colleges to go to, and I took a lesson with Otis Murphy out there, and he is fucking incredible, like, classical saxophone. He's my favorite I've ever heard in my whole life. There's just some, because when you play classical, you play a lot of repertoire, like composed pieces that you know, you're just reading off sheet music. So that's another thing to keep in mind too, is like I was very bad at jazz. So getting into music production and even shooting videos where everything is improvised and it's up to you to create it. Like, I didn't have to worry about the notes sounding good together with everything.
Somebody did that for you already,
music, but now it's like I had to get in, and I love it so much more, dude. I love just making my own shit.
So you were, I guess, if I'm tracing the timeline, you were, at some point, we go from RuneScape to World of Warcraft, then you start producing beats, and we start saxophone. How did you decide, what made you start making beats, and what made you say, I'm going to be a classical saxophone player? Well... It seems like two different, like...
Yeah, well, I actually, like, the beats, and, what else did you just say?
Because you said, it was kind of video games, and then you started making beats, then saxophone came into the mix.
Yeah, I played video games, like, I've, like... pretty, like, other than, like, maybe, like, a couple years ago, I kind of took a break before I got this PC, like, totally took a break from playing games and was just focused on, just music, because I was, I do have an addictive personality, and I tend to, whatever I am doing, I spend all my time on it, and I thought, why not use that to my advantage and get, like, addicted to making music for a while?
Yep, I went through a similar phase as well.
Yeah, but, yes, I've been... The music I didn't start making until 7th grade, and that was before I started playing World of Warcraft. I didn't start, like, getting... I would say I started getting more, like, hardcore into gaming whenever I, like, bought a graphics card and a power supply for my computer, and I'm like, taking my shit apart, then I'm like, okay, I'm a little more serious now.
Yeah, this is pretty serious,
Yeah, like, shit's getting a little more serious now. Like, that came a little bit later, probably in, like, 10th or 11th grade when I started doing that.
Okay.
And I was pretty decent at saxophone by then.
What started you making beats then?
So beats was like right around the time I graduated high school.
Okay.
I didn't start making beats then, but that was when I discovered like EDM, like the whole EDM scene. Because I listened to like death metal and shit growing up. Like I was into like Cannibal Corpse and Job for a Cowboy, Black Dahlia Murder. Like
just listen to them on the way here. So Black Dahlia.
Yeah. What were you listening to? Some of their new stuff?
Yeah, I just realized that they had dropped 2 albums I didn't even know existed. So I was listening to the most recent too.
I don't really listen to too much of their. I'm like very like, what do you call it? Like an old head. Like I listen to like all the bands that I like I listen to like their old stuff, and I don't really keep up with stuff now as much as I should. I just don't like the way a lot of stuff sounds right now. I even listen to like the new Man on the Moon project, and it's fire. Yeah. But it's just not as like just dirty and fucked up sounding as the first 2 projects or like Indicud were. So it's like, you know, beats though, like, I got into that because I discovered like Skrillex, and which is a lot of people hate on him, but dude, Skrillex
he changed like I want to say the world almost. He just created something that never existed.
He's fucking incredible, bro. And like with me mixing stuff now, I'm sure that like, you know, you being a video guy too, like you probably go back and watch a lot of like your favorite movies and stuff, and probably critique it and see it differently than you did before you made stuff, you know, made movies yourself. You know what I mean?
You can
like,
appreciate more too. It's like, oh, look at that. You know?
Well, I was watching The Matrix. Like, I love The Matrix series. It's super fire. But I just noticed so much shit. I'll spend so much time just looking at like the green, like kind of color grade they use for like, the whole series that just sets this like tone. And it has this blurry,
you didn't even realize you had noticed it the whole time too. Yeah.
I noticed one thing where like, okay, so you know whenever Neo does that shit, and then he gets shot in like the leg, and he falls down, and then the agent walks up and sticks the gun to him and is facing him, right? Yeah. He's facing Neo, and then it shoots up to behind his head, and boom, Trinity pops up with a gun. She goes something like, eat this or something. When she shoots him and his body flies back, he's facing her. So that was like a weird thing that I never, because I'm like, that's not consistent. Like he should have fallen this way, but the way that he falls back and like turns it back into the pilot that the agent took over or whatever. Because I think it was like a helicopter pilot or like one of the guards or some shit. That shot wouldn't have looked as cool if he wasn't falling backwards like that. And if he was falling like that, it would look like someone getting killed in real life, which is like mad creepy looking. But I don't remember. Oh yeah. Anyways, like making beats, like dude. Like I really liked listening to Skrillex. Like when I got on my EDM kick and Deadmau5, like I love them so much, bro. Like I was just like, wow, this is so cool, and it's so simple, but it's like, and you know, honestly, what got me into EDM was Animals as Leaders.
Oh man, yeah.
Which is like, I'm actually just now realizing this, because when I started listening to them, I was just like, their self-titled album that had like K-Fo on it, and Modern Meat, and like just so incredible, dude. But I just remember being like, wow, this is like so cool, and like I can zone. I just needed shit to like zone out to, so I could play my like WoW, and just grind my quests out and my PvP and shit, and just like that used to be like my life. Even today, like I'll probably re-up my Apple Music tonight and fucking. I could buy WoW and install that and go on a whole nostalgia trip like
go
that
on a binge.
Yeah, just play Battlegrounds all night and just listen to that album, like like Man on the Moon, like. I started listening to Man on the Moon when I got introduced to weed. Man on the Moon and Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar were like two things that like heavily influenced what I'm making. But anyways, dude, it was just mainly like Deadmau5, Skrillex, Dylan Francis, Rusko,
Rusko,
Cookie Monster, Dr. P. Dr. P, like, I fucked up my car speakers, and I'm pretty sure I have hearing damage literally from like listening to his shit with the bass and the treble and the mids fucking cranked. And because sometimes I'll have, dude, where like if I'm playing music too loud, my ear like crackles. It sounds like an old radio.
Wow.
My shit's fucked, bro. Like I need to go see a doctor about it for real. I got like hella problems with my ears and constantly hiding from the doctor's office. That's a whole different thing. But yeah, I was like, how do they make this stuff? Like, I want to do that. And I know deadmau5 has this elaborate analog studio that is like, looks like a spaceship, dude.
Yeah, I can only imagine what he's been working with.
Oh yeah, dude. Pull up his live stream sometime. He literally like is in the middle of like a fucking huge room, dude. It's like if you took all the partitions out and you had the kitchen and the dining room and just all this wide, and he's like in a little thing in the center. Yeah. And then he just has fucking walls of equipment, like.
Damn.
Yeah, insane. Like.
I'm gonna check the video real fast.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I just wanted to make stuff like that. I was like, this stuff is so inspiring and like fun to me, and like, I want to do it. Like, how do I do it? And then, you know, it was like, oh, Flux Pavilion uses Cubase.
Flux
Pavilion's so fire, bro. Like, I love his leads. Like, he has these leads with these bass lines in them.
Yeah.
Like, in his drops that are so fire. Like, I love that song that he did with Childish Gambino. Mm-hmm. Are you hip to that? From that, like, let the head nod when the beat go in. I'm gonna let to the beat go in. Like, that was before Childish Gambino had, like, big shit out.
Yeah.
Like, and that was where I discovered him at, and I was like, man, this is fucking fire. Like, Rusko had tracks with, like, I think he did a project with Cypress Hill.
I think so.
Or no, maybe it's somebody else, but somebody did a dubstep project with Cypress Hill.
Yeah. It could have been Rusko. If it wasn't Rusko, it was somebody else.
Yeah, I'll figure that out in a minute, but yeah.
Leave it in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah. And yeah, someone was like, Dylan Francis uses Ableton, and I was like really fucking with his shit at the time, and I thought, oh, if I get Ableton, I'll sound like Dylan Francis.
Yeah.
Like, and then I end up finding out that that's not how it works at all. It's just a...
You like, found out, yeah.
Yeah, they're all just wrenches, like, of different colors, and you just pick what color you want, and some of them are more powerful than others, but Ableton is amazing, bro. Like, I can do everything out of there, like... I don't really see the need for like Pro Tools or... Yeah. Pro Tools is fire from what I've seen, but I feel like I can make a song sound just as good out of Ableton. So it's like... Yeah. I bought that just off of like... Just because I heard Dylan Francis used it. Mm-hmm. And that was in like 2014. That was when I still lived in my first apartment over in Boardman, and I stayed with the dude that dropped the plate on his foot. And
was it Corey?
Shout out Corey.
Shout out Corey.
And I'm working a bunch of bullshit jobs, and I remember I was borrowing hella money off my grandma back then.
This is like you just graduated high school, and you're just kind of like figuring shit out?
Just graduated high school and had been in college for a couple semesters and was consistently fucking up and doing very badly.
Because you wanted to do like producing music, or just college was?
I was like chasing women. I think I went to college a little too early. I wasn't mature enough to actually pay attention. I was super hooked on video games. Yeah. And then I had taken a year off after like 2 or 3 semesters. I took a semester or 2 off, and worked at. I think that was actually when I worked at Walmart and I met Corey.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved out to Boardman with him, started going back to school again, continued fucking up.
But the plan still was always concert, or not concert, but like saxophonist?
Yeah. Well, no. Actually, I went to music school for like 2 or 3 semesters, and the whole culture up there was like really... The main problem was just me and that I wasn't ready to go to school, but back then... I had this like, I just had a bunch of weird shit I was dealing with. Like, people in music school are kind of like cultists, like, and if you're not practicing for 6-7 hours a day, and they know if you are, because if you are, you're in the practice rooms where everybody else is, and you're all bullshitting and hanging out together. But I was in my dorm playing World of Warcraft and Borderlands and like chilling, like, and Skyrim. I remember I discovered Skyrim after like my first semester of college, and I came back and me and my brother were playing it on like 8-hour shifts where like I would sleep in the bed and he would play.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I woke up, I'd kick him out or beat his ass, and then he would sleep in my bed, and then I would play over. And I wanted to quit school. I like literally wanted to quit my whole life just to play Skyrim. Like
it was a dangerous game for me as well. I had to like cut myself off.
So much fun, bro.
Yeah.
But no, I actually kind of got tired of making music back then because of just music school, and my priorities weren't straight back then. I really just wanted to play games and bang a hot girl.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like that was literally like...
It's like every guy's dream is just
going into college, like, yeah, being like a super fucking horny 18-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, no, like...
And when I'm done with this, I could go to this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, having a dorm and shit, like... After living with, you know, my grandparents are Jehovah's Witnesses and all this and that, yeah.
You were probably breaking free, yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm 18 now, like, you know, I can go out and break the law and deal with it myself, and you know, it not come back to them. Like,
yeah.
You know, but I wasn't even smoking weed then. But when I moved into that apartment and I started making beats, was right around the time when I was like I knew I was like, school's not working out, but I kept like kind of exploiting it for like the financial aid, because I was getting like $5,000-$6,000 every, I think, semester or year. I forget how they dispersed it.
Yeah.
But I never had money or liked working at hot dog shop or, you know, Taco Bell long enough to even, and I couldn't save money, and I spent so much of that money on video games. It was just stupid. I had no like concept of money. Mm-hmm. I ran myself like $30,000 into debt with student loans. Yeah. Before I realized like, oh, I have to pay this back.
Yeah.
But you don't...
Financial aid, but we're not really like...
Yeah, like you don't read all the fine print when you're 18 years old. You do. And I filed as an independent because I don't live with my parents. I was like we went to court. I was like a ward of the court, and then they had to sign their rights over to my grandparents. It was a whole thing. So like, I didn't have to file based off of anybody's income besides my own, and I wasn't making any money, so I got the max like shit. Yeah. And but yeah, I did music for a couple semesters, and then but right around the time I was in Boardman, I think I went for one last semester as a music education major. Either that, or that was when I switched to computer science. But then I tried switching over to computer science to do that, and it was like a toss-up, like, do I want to do IT or computer science? Like, and I had sold my saxophone, and I built my other gaming computer, which is not the one that I got the power. That was like the first computer, and then that's the second one, and I had AVA Direct build this one for me. Yeah. But yeah, I tried computer science because I thought, like, maybe I'm not really liking music like that anymore. And
I did computer science for, like, maybe half a semester.
Yeah, like, what if I could learn how to code? I could make all this money that I see that these guys are supposed to... You know, the median... If you get this degree and you could get this job, here's the median salary. Like,
everything's going computers and, high demand.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't love coding. I would probably like it now if I tried to get back into it. But again, like, I just wasn't ready for college, period. But I thought maybe switching majors would keep me like more focused or something, I guess, which it totally didn't. But
I can relate. That was how mine was too.
I did that for a couple semesters, and my last semester before they actually ended up kicking me out. Because what I would do is they had a withdrawal date where you could withdraw from classes and it wouldn't affect your GPA. But after a while, I just like stopped doing it. And I think it was like after I started smoking weed, I just like... I was like, fuck school. Like, it was weird. I remember being on Facebook.
Fuck school, baby.
I remember being on fuck school, but I was like using financial aid and shit to just like do shit you're totally not supposed to do with it, like a dumbass. And and then I ended up having to pay YSU back like $7,000, which I still owe them like $1,000. I've been paying $50 a month for like 10 years or like 6 or 7 years now. On that.
Probably feels like 10, even if it's not. If 2 years,
forever.
It feels like
forever. I remember when I signed up and I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna have this paid off for 10 years. Like, but time goes by so quick, it really ain't even that big a deal.
So what made you start smoking weed? Because it was an interesting trajectory that you, even in college, playing hella video games, not going to school.
Didn't do that.
But it wasn't even weed. Like,
I didn't even do that. Yeah, no, I literally just, like, showered and fucking ate cheese pizza.
Yeah.
That was all I did, bro. Like, I didn't do no drugs. Like, I went out to, like, 1 or 2 parties and had some alcohol, and I got entirely too drunk and hungover.
Yeah.
Had a bad time and was like, I don't like this. But so I just wanted to try it. Like, I kept hearing good things about it, that it's not like alcohol.
What's this weed? I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. I remember the one, like, first party that I went to over at this dude's apartment was the first time I saw them passing the bowl around, and they offered it to me. I'm like, no, I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Because I just, and I'm not going to lie, dude, the first time I smoked weed, you definitely feel like you're on some fucking hard drugs. Like,
yeah.
If you've never done that shit before, that's pretty crazy. Like, but, yeah, I don't really, I just wanted to try it for some reason. I was looking for some sort of, like, I don't know, just a change of pace, wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
And
Were you drinking too? Like, just drinking alcohol, or like not even really anything?
Not too much, no. Because I started smoking like about, I don't know. Yeah, I was just looking for a change of pace, bro. And
yeah. So they're passing the bowl around, and you're like, you know what?
I said no.
I'll take one this time.
No, I didn't try it with them. No, okay. I remember what I was saying. I actually didn't actually smoke until probably like a year and a half or so. No. 2.5 years after that, because when I was in music school was when I went to that party, but it was when I was about to get kicked out, dude, and I think I did computer science for 3 semesters.
Okay.
And I tried it around that 3rd semester was the first time I bought weed. That was the biggest thing for me. Like, the biggest reason why I didn't start was because I was like, how do you get it?
Oh, okay,
when you don't, And
if you didn't have the connections already for...
Yeah, the first time I tried it was with my dad, and he actually...
What?
Yeah, he actually...
Cool dad, man.
Cool dad, yeah. He actually went out and was able to get it, and he's like, well, what do you want? You want to get, like, some cheap stuff? You want to get some good stuff? I'm like, well, dude, I don't want to get too messed up off the good stuff. He's like, that's not really how it works. You probably want to get the good stuff. So he ended up getting some, like, sour diesel, some supposed sour diesel.
Yeah.
And
probably taxed you a little bit.
Yeah, it was like $20-$25, and he gave me this little nug like that, but that was really all I needed.
Right.
He was more than welcome to keep the rest of it.
Did he like roll up for you? You had a bowl?
He had this tiny little bowl that I was afraid to light because I didn't want to burn my finger.
Okay.
I don't care now. Like, I know how to hit a bowl right now.
Yeah,
but it was like, I actually couldn't really get a hit the first time.
Okay.
So... Because
you probably didn't smoke cigarettes either. Or did you?
No, not really. I tried cigarettes when I was, like, way too young.
Yeah.
But I just, like, ghost inhale, or what do you call it?
French inhale?
No, I didn't actually inhale.
Oh, just held it in your mouth for a second?
Yeah, I just puffed it. Yeah, it was like,
wow,
cool smoke coming out of my mouth. That was, like, when I was, like, really, like, in elementary school and, like...
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, I lived in a trailer park down in Florida, and we were, like, hella trashy, and we did a lot of bad shit.
Yeah.
So that was, like, nothing. That was just, like, look, he did it.
He did it.
And only, like, 1 or 2 kids out of that group actually smoked cigarettes. And they were, like, the baddest ones, for real, but...
Yeah.
No, but... And when I turned 18, I tried Swisher grapes... just to try them, and I tried Black and Milds just to try them. But no, I never, I had never really, like, hit something, and, like, couldn't really get a hit off the bowl.
Yeah.
And I think I just got frustrated, and, like, either that or that same night, they made me a water bottle bong with a Fiji water bottle.
Yeah.
And I remember they, like, saw it in the fucking corner, how it's a square-shaped bottle, or a rectangular shape, and had the foil on top, dude.
Yeah.
And I got a big hit off that, bro, and that was my first time getting high, and...
Yeah.
I remember it was raining out that night, and there was lightning, and I remember my first, like, high moment that I had was, wow, when the lightning flashes, you can see everything. Like, because... do you ever, like, feel like stop motion? When you're, like, super stoned, you feel like everything...
Yes.
Like... especially when
7 frames per second or something.
Exactly. Especially when you're super novice and you like when you first start doing it, like 7 frames per second type shit. So it was like literally, dude, when the lightning would flash, I felt like I had a moment to like look around and see everything. Yeah. I was like, whoa, like, and the cool air just felt so nice. And then I got lightheaded and I had, hey, what's up, Gabby? And then after that, I was like, okay, you know, like, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just going to go inside and chill. And then I went inside and I remember put that in the dining room, Gabby. The first munchies I ever had were the Pirouette, the chocolate hazelnut Pirouette. They're the long, like, wrapped up, like, pastry stick things and they're crispy.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first munchie you ever had?
Yeah, and it was, just before I forget too, it was funny that you said you didn't even get a hit really, because I had never smoked cigarettes before either. My first one was a blunt, like past the blunt, and I'm like I don't know how to do it or whatever.
Exactly.
But I got enough in, and I ate almost an entire cookie cake. Like somebody had brought in like a sheet of like cookie things, and I was like, these are so good.
Yeah.
And they looked, they're like, dude, you ate like the whole thing or whatever. And I was like, did I? Like,
when I had that moment, bro, where like I went in and I had those Pirouette, and I was like, wow. And then after that, I fell asleep on my bed and I woke up feeling like great. Like, better than I've ever felt. And it definitely wasn't like when I, you know, had that hangover after, you know, I had 2 really bad hangovers both times that I got like drunk. Just didn't enjoy it. I went way overboard with how much I drank though. Now like I like that little bit of whiskey, or like I could have a beer and like I'm happy with that now because like I recognize how it's supposed to feel, I guess. But yeah, dude, that really I was like, wow, this is nice. Like I need to do this again sometime. And then I think I moved up to Boardman shortly after that. Either that or I already lived up there and had like come back to my grandparents' house to visit, and that was where, well, not quite where that happened at, but kind of in the vicinity or whatever. But yeah, and then I remember too, dude, whenever like once I actually, the first time I bought weed was when I worked at Walmart off this chick I worked with, and paid like $60 for an eighth. Like I got super taxed by these people. Like I was paying $3.50 a zip over there. It
was back in the day. I used to pay that for an eighth too. It was like crazy,
insanely expensive. Like, and I was really bad with my money. Roommate broke his foot. He wasn't paying his half of the rent. I usually had money to pay my half of the rent.
Yeah,
but I couldn't make enough to realistically pay the other half. And then would end up like borrowing money off my family, and then I would have like a little bit left over that I would end up buying weed with, and then felt really bad for doing that back then because I was like, damn, I'm like a crackhead or something.
But your roommate should have felt bad for sticking you with that. That's not your responsibility to cover, or you should have broken your foot just so he'd have to pay for whatever.
Yeah, it was a really weird arrangement. That's why I don't have roommates anymore. Like, you know, me and my girl have, you know, just a mutual like arrangement kind of worked out that like depending on how things are looking for one person, the other person will pick up and help. Like, and it's not like a tit for tat thing. We try not to make it that way. I mean, we always have our tendencies to just like, we've been together for like probably like 7 years now, I think. So, you know, we bitch at each other a lot, but we kind of have that like common like, you know, goal that I did not have with that's not my spouse though. That was just some random roommate I had. But but I remember back then, like when I first started buying weed, creating and making music and stuff, high was like the coolest feeling ever. I still don't think I have gotten to play saxophone since I started smoking weed, because I went to a couple band camps back at my high school and was a saxophone instructor there. I was definitely high as shit up there.
Did you get like hella dry mouth trying to play with the reed and everything? I can only imagine trying to play.
I think I had water on me.
Okay.
So it didn't really...
You like planned for it probably?
Yeah, just I would have like... They had snacks up there. I would time it around like lunchtime and then grab a snack, and, you know... I usually don't even need water if I get dry mouth. It's usually just because I haven't put any... Like I need to eat something or something to make my mouth water. Like even like a dry ass Rice Krispie treat, that shit would slap, and you probably wouldn't have as much of a dry mouth compared to just like sitting and like doing nothing or whatever and getting like the worst cotton mouth.
That's an interesting point because I feel like I'm always like, let me just drink more water, and it's just like nothing works. So maybe trying to suck on some food or like something like that.
Yeah, or do both. Like yeah, but I mean, water should definitely drink your water. But yeah, I feel like anytime I have cottonmouth, like it just keeps coming back over and over again with water, and you have to keep drinking it. But if you eat like a little bit of good food that like, I don't know, for some reason that seems to help with my cottonmouth a lot more.
Yeah.
I feel like when I have cottonmouth too, I really want to have like lemonade, which is like that'll dry your mouth out big time, like and make you even more thirsty. So.
I'm a big orange juice person too. That'll kind of like dry it out as well. Mm-hmm. It kind of bites too when you do it. So
exactly.
I'm gonna have to try the food stuff too.
Yeah. I really loved like creating whenever I used to think like I couldn't make anything unless I was high, and then I hit a point in my weed smoking career, whatever you want to call it, where I was like, maybe this is a bad thing for me. Mm-hmm. Like, not weed is a bad thing, but weed is a bad thing for me. So, like, I actually, like, kind of... I guess I never really, like, quit for a super long time, but I was constantly, like... I used to be on this thing where, like, I would buy a half or a zip, and I would smoke 80% of it super fast, and then this for the rest of it.
Okay.
But I kind of quit doing that because I'm like, why? It's like you have a tiny bowl, you're not gonna get high off it, like.
Yeah.
So I'll just roll like a fat ass joint up, you know. When well now, you know, I just like pack the rest of my shit up in my packs and have it kind of like portioned out, but I just go through my shit faster and try to like get myself to the point of like having a little like sober stint. I like having like the yin and yang where like sometimes, because I'm super stressed out when I'm not smoking, but when I'm smoking, I'm definitely slower and I don't get as much done. Even though it might be easier for me to like numb the anxiety enough to kind of be like, okay, do this task right now instead of thinking about everything you have to do all day.
Right.
And sitting in your chair on Twitter, go work on this. Like, you know, it kind of helps with that, but then I'll sit down and I'll like start working and I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
or mine's hard to like, I can't translate what I want to do into like it getting done. I'll sit in After Effects for 4 hours like masking nothing for no reason. I'm trying to like, I know what I want to do, but it's hard for me to like execute in some of the programs sometimes.
Dude, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine that. For me, it'll be like, I think I actually still have to figure out. Dude, I found this thing on DaVinci where like, usually masking on Premiere Pro is like you click in the points for the roto thing or whatever, and then you track it and then you line them up. But on DaVinci, they had this weird way that I was able to do it where, so DaVinci's color grading software is like super fire. It's supposed to be like some of the best. And it has this like roto brush built into it where you can literally, if let's say you have, you know, you can click on, like, draw a little line on someone's face. Yeah. And it's kind of like the auto selection thing on Photoshop where you, like, paint it in and it'll snap and select everything. It basically does that, but it's like you just draw a little line and boom, it grabs, like, the whole headshot.
Yeah.
Like,
and it, like, tracks and stuff, too? Or do you have to go frame by frame?
And then you click and you track it. But it doesn't, you can't just turn it into a mask and then add your effects to it. You have to, like, export it as a matte. And then you have to, like... link it as like you have to like make an alpha channel or something and link it to your source footage and then you turn like the RGB mode to red or something like that. Okay. And so I basically bounced a version of like I think I have the component in here somewhere. Yeah, like for
okay.
Like I bounced this. But this was just, I didn't have to track or adjust the roto brush. Like, it did a pretty damn good job. It's not perfect, but that ended up...
It's good enough for you to throw something on top of it. It's not going to be black and white.
It took 5 minutes compared to, like, roto brushing forever. And, like, or for me, like, or even, like, having to watch a YouTube video for how to do it in the smoothest workflow way possible on DaVinci, you know, but... I use that here and like for that. And and it looks pretty clean. Like, and for it being like a click and then just export a video, then drag it in and link it to the footage, and I kind of like that better, and it doing a lot of the roto brushing for me.
Yeah.
Because you can still go in and adjust that map before you bounce it too, which is pretty sick.
Right.
I don't remember why I started talking about that, but you were talking about just getting high and
getting high, trying to fuck around, trying to do my stuff.
When I was trying to do that, there was like, for some reason it didn't work the first time, and there's always like so many steps, and it's like, what do I have to flip this over?
Yeah.
And you never know what it is, and so, a lot of times I'll just close without saving and then reopen, redo the shit that I should have saved.
Right. Yeah,
and
I'm
then
sitting
it
there
works.
high as fuck. I'm like, is it me? Is it the program? Is it Adobe? Or like,
sometimes it's both.
Sometimes it is both.
But usually it's just you because you're high and
yeah.
You click like one little thing and it fucks everything up. Like, but yeah, and I was there too, dude. When I was learning Ableton, I would get super fried and just be like, all I can figure out right now is how to get 3 notes to come out of this piano.
Yeah.
But after a while, I started getting comfortable and learned how to like layer stuff. And dude, that shit is like crack. Just sitting down doing like overdub melodies. Like, I think I could probably even, if I had like a looper pedal or something for my guitar, like I could get fried and just go on that like all day. Like that shit would be super fun. Like, I don't really do that as much as I used to. Like just like creating stuff. I'm trying to get more into it, but figuring out kind of what I want to do in the long term is the challenge.
Yeah, and that's a great segue actually, because because I know you were tweeted the other day, and I was similar, trying to get into a routine and trying to find like the rhythm and trying to get into that. What would be like 5-year goal? Like what do you want? What do you see? I don't want to say what do you see doofdum in 5 years, but like when you're working on doofdum, you got your hand in so many different things. You're starting to do videos and stuff now. Like what is it that you hope to? I feel like it's such a dick question that I'm asking, but like,
I
you know what I mean.
Yeah. My main like problem that I've been dealing with this whole time has been like working out of the home that I sleep in, and like I'm really not liking it after a while. Like, I would like my home to kind of be my home, and then having a kid too, dude. It's like, and like cats that chew on shit. The one loves fucking cables. Like he's really annoying.
And there's lots of cables and
so many of them, dude. And it's like the way that we I use these little covers, bro, and it's such a bitch putting them on everything. And there's not enough cable cover for everything, and you gotta pinch them, and it makes your fingertips numb, and it's like very grueling. Like putting that extension cable in a thing would be a nightmare. Like,
and that's time, that's money, that's like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. My main thing that I've really wanted to do is I want to go out and get a spot, and I want to like get like a flex space that has like an industrial area in the back and a couple offices in the front, and I want to just have a spot to go to where like, you know, I can go work any time of night. And the nice thing that I'm thinking is if I go get a flex space, people aren't living in there, so they shouldn't be sleeping in there. So if I go up there late, I should be able to pretty much make noise for the first time in my life and not have to worry about people telling me, hey, can you turn that down? Hey, the bass is too loud. Hey, can you keep it down a little bit? Like, I hate that shit so much, dude. I hate that more than anything. That's like my bane is like, because you know who Gabriel the Angel is? I had him out here and we were cooking up a beat. I'm laying down the kick drum and like I turned it up. I did, like, and it was kind of a dick move on my part, but like I know that the kick might sound good quiet, but I have to feel it to like know how it's actually, because people perform, they go out and they do stuff, so it's like I want like the idea in my head to translate, and it's not translating as like something that he's gonna play at a fucking dive bar somewhere. Like, you know, like I want the shit that we're doing to be big, like larger than life, you know. And I want to feel that kick. So like, when you're monitoring mixes, like you know, it's not technically a being, but like listening to stuff softly and softly and loudly is super important. You got to hear how your mix is going to sound really loud in mono and in stereo, and the same thing quietly. Like turn your speakers down as quiet as possible. Is it still speaking through the the way that you want it to? Like
test it on the MacBook speakers. Make sure it sounds good on everything.
Different speakers. Yeah, that's even a whole other thing. Like you're absolutely right. But yeah, I wanna go out and like get me a spot where I can kind of work and do stuff like that. I've been getting the past couple years more into like house music that I'm producing and like electro type shit.
Yeah.
And I would like to get some maybe get like a nice performing artist or two, maybe get a good feature or two from like someone that has a name or something.
You know who would go crazy for that is Blossom. Big EDM
Oh, absolutely.
guy. He'd murder those beats too.
Absolutely, yeah. We have some stuff that we've worked on, but not a proper EDM track. I actually have like a Latin, it's like a dance hall kind of track that we both performed on that's actually pretty cool. He's super fire, bro. I've asked him so many times. He's very very picky. It's very hard to get him to want to like, because I don't really work with him anymore. We're cool, but I don't really work with him anymore. He got his own shit and works at home, and I think even has King Theta mixing his stuff now, which is cool. Yeah. Those people are more his lane anyways, but...
Yeah, his sound's kind of changed too, so it makes sense. I know he always talks about loving EDM and stuff, so...
Yeah, and he's more into that now, but... Yeah. I haven't actually put together a proper EDM, like, treatment for him, but... you know who Someday Soon is?
It sounds familiar, but...
He used to go by Someday Soon. He goes by Wyatt Alexander now on social media.
That almost sounds more familiar, so maybe...
He's from Kent. He's got long hair, guitar playing dude. He makes, like, house music. You know who Caden is?
I think so.
Caden kind of makes similar type stuff. Caden's, like, a producer, too, though. He's pretty dope. I haven't actually met Caden yet, but... Yeah. I made a really fire, I think, EDM track with Someday Soon that... I kind of wanted to give the same treatment to Blossom, but it just seems really hard to get Blossom to come out for stuff. He's pretty busy, and
Cleveland's kind of deep too from this area.
Exactly, yeah. That's the other thing too, is he wants to get home and like get back to his life, and he would come over for like a session. And the one song we made one night was like, I kind of hit him up spur of the moment, was like, hey, you wanna cook something up?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure, I can stay. It was kind of that type energy. So yeah. Okay, I appreciate your time, bro. Like, he's a good dude and he'll try and stick it out, but I could tell he, like, didn't really plan on that or want to do that. So... But, yeah, dude, that would be fire. He actually did an EDM track with Rio that I mixed that was called Echo.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Really fire. That was how I found Rio. I remember when you added me on Snapchat, I was like, are you Rio? Because you're
yeah.
I
was like, what the hell?
Yeah, your thing looked exactly like him, and he was hitting me up about... like, I kind of have a similar relationship with him. Like, I talk to him about as much as I do to you, and we talk about pretty similar stuff. But he's a musician, and he a really good piano and I think guitar player. I think he's actually mainly a guitar player. And actually, he had come through around that time, and we just met up and talked and hung out. And I don't even remember if we made music together that day. We just kind of hung out, I think. But... yeah, he did an EDM track with Blossom that I thought was super fire. I'm like, bro, you should get, like, really deep into this shit. Like, break away from, like, the pop punk or, like, whatever you want to call what you're doing. I know people don't like to put labels on shit, but it's all just kind of like pop punk, like, emo rap, like, emo trap kind of stuff.
Like, it's kind of a frontier. Like, it's not been done super much, and people can kind of pave their ways with it.
Yeah. I think even less so for people that are, like, crossing over. I feel like a good way to really get shit going, bro, is to do crossover stuff. So the show that you came to with Zelly, was it the one where he did our EDM track that we did?
It might have been.
Where he was like, we just recorded this today, and it was like a...
Oh, you know what? It was.
Yeah.
And I think you had made the Adam 22 sex tape beat or something like that, too.
Oh. That, okay, so you came out to a later show then. Because the first, Zelly did a show at Rialto before that.
Okay.
Where him and I dropped a project called Rockville to Rockstar that is basically three songs. The first one's Rockville, second one's called 2, third one's called Rockstar.
Okay.
And he just dropped it as like a single or whatever, Rockville to Rockstar.
Yeah.
But it's actually 3 separate tracks. But the first one, Rockville, was just like, he showed me some techno beat that someone, I think it was like Lil Turbo or something, it's something that he was like, let's make something like this. I'm like, alright, bet.
Yeah.
And then we made Rockville, which is a super fire, like, crossover track that is like Zelly, like, hard rapping, like, melodic, like, gangster shit, but on like a go-go, like, steampunk fucking, like rave type beat thing. It was like, it's basically a house beat, but it was very, like, heavy and dark house, not like your typical deep house that's like relaxing. This was makes you want to beat people up, like type stuff, you know. So he like made that on it. That night he had a show at Rialto and he actually performed it for them, which was really cool to me for a couple different reasons, because like I remember watching an interview about Atlanta producers, and it was, I think, Metro Boomin and Southside interview, where they were basically talking about how we will go out all the time after we make a song. We'll go to the club that night and have them play it there. Yeah. And if the girls are dancing to it, then we know. Yeah. You know, just to kind of like, because
that's the test for a lot of
it's the car test basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, for fucking rich people that, you know, and the DJs will play their shit for free. Like people like me would have to pay $50 to get, you know. Yeah. But
girls.
yeah, even just to see like, are they gonna react to it? You know, like, but when he performed that, people were at first like, they were like not moving at all. But you know, but then they were kind of like, and then he does the hook like I think 3 times in that song. And like the last time I think twice actually. He does it one time, and then when by the time he repeated it, or no, maybe it is a 3rd time, but people had it memorized by then, and they're all jumping around. Everybody was jumping, like, nobody really got video footage of that because everybody was in the moment, like, dancing to it, having fun, but that was my first time, like, having that unique experience of, like, making a song, leaking it to a room full of people that day. For a guy that's performing a headlining act for a show, I don't give a fuck how big or small the event is, you know. I was like, I love Rialto, like that. Those were so fun to me, like intimate, like connecting with everybody at the show. Like you can't do that. At a bigger show. But everybody loved it. Like they were singing along to it, they were dancing to it. I'm like, okay, like I actually have a banger here. And then we ended up dropping that project, and everybody loved it. Like it was a no-brainer. And then even the middle song on that project is like, I think even better. Like it hits that dark sound that I was going for even better. And supposedly Mosh Pit was supposed to be shooting to that, but like a short film to the whole to Rockville to Rockstar as a whole, which would be like probably like a 10-15 minute thing. But I don't know. I don't know if that'll actually ever happen, because that dude's gotten super busy. I don't know if you.
I was gonna say
like. They were dragging their feet on it before, but with like the moves that guy's making, I don't really see. They're more the type of people to just work on new shit. Like it'll be more like, I think I'd be more likely to get him to work on something for me and Zelly if we made some new techno shit. And I have one techno song with Zelly in the cut that I would say is probably the best one, but that's the only other one I have with him besides Rockville to Rockstar. And I've sent him plenty of other techno stuff, and he's just not vibing with that. Like, he's not on that, so it's impossible for me to get more of that. So now I have to go through other avenues, I guess, to tap into that. And I don't know when I'm kind of, half of me is just too lazy to, like, even want to solicit to people. So, like, I don't know when that'll actually turn into something, but the nice thing is you can just drop that stuff as is too, like the instrumentals. I mean, without even you don't even need someone to perform something proper on the studio in it. But I just loved how that crossover sound was, that fusion of like SoundCloud rap and techno. Like I felt like it was a way better version of hyperpop. Like a way better version of hyperpop. I don't mind that stuff, but I don't listen to it at all. It's not interesting to me. Though I do appreciate the maximalist, like I feel like hyperpop is very maximalist. Like they add a lot of very heavy production. Yeah. Lots of vocal chops, lots of like every second, lots of formant shifting. Yeah.
There's some I almost look at it as like this is for producers or this is for videographers or something, where I watch it and like other people are like, I don't get this. I'm like, don't you see that this is this? And like you probably have stuff too where it's like, look at the sound design that they did and whatever. And some people it's just they don't even notice it or care. So
yeah, or even just song, and everybody has different views on stuff. I know me and Night Runner, like we listen to completely different stuff, and a lot of shit that I think is fire he thinks is trash. But then I'll turn around and be like, but you make videos. Like, I actually, like, I'm listening to what you're showing me, and, like, I could show you a million other people that sound like that. So it's like, but he's not like a guy that mixes songs for people. He's an actual listener and enjoyer of music. Yeah. Which I am not. I'm really not. Like, I don't connect with that I mean, I do, but the shit that I enjoy, like, people have their phases, a couple albums that you like. I'll listen to those my whole life. Like, like I'll go back to acid rap and...
That's classic. And it's kind of, we've missed Chance. I've missed Chance. Where it's like...
Yeah, exactly, dude. I would rather listen to that than any of his other shit that he's done, just because I don't... The time in my life that I was in when I discovered him, and... Yeah. I don't even feel the same way about certain shit anymore. Like, I'm not really looking to get into psychedelics and all this and that. A lot of shit that Cudi raps about, I don't connect with the same way anymore. Like, like, it's funny too, when I found Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi, I was super late. That album, I believe, came out in 2010 or 2011. I listened to it 10 years later, or like 8 years later type shit, yes. Okay. So I heard it super late, but when I heard it, I connected very heavily with that. And with Good Kid, Mad City, not that I'm, like, I don't come from a background like Kendrick Lamar at all, but I don't have to. Like, sometimes you find something and it catches you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And those albums did that for me, and there's been very few and far between things since then that I've actually... I think, like, the most recent thing that I really, really connected with, music-wise, was Juice WRLD.
Oh, okay. Any project in particular, or just him
Lucid
in general?
Dreams, like, I mean, I know that it's like, those are his big hits, but
they're hits because they're great songs. Yeah, for sure.
I used to be very like, oh, you're a poser if you only listen to, how people are, especially metalheads and shit back in the day.
For
like,
sure.
Or just fans of music. Everybody, would wear their favorite band T-shirts, and to make a statement that like what you're doing is cooler than what the next person is doing. Everybody wanted to be cool, but yeah, Lucid Dreams, bro. That video was just like incredible. And I remember the first time I heard the song, I think it came on Pandora randomly, and I was like, this guy's voice is like life-changing. Like, I want to eat this guy's voice. Like, it sounds so good. Look and see, it's Lucid Dreams. Like, and I remember I was actually riding out to meet with my cousin when I heard that song in my grandma's Nissan Altima, which has a nice little thing, nice little stereo in it. The mix on that song was incredible. His voice, like just the lyrics, like it made me feel a type of way. I was like, I fuck with this. Like, I don't hear that too often where like it really makes me feel a type of way. But yeah, Lucid Dreams, All Girls Are the Same. Like,
that was my favorite one. That was how I found it. I was like, fire. What the fuck? This is so good.
So fire songs, bro. Like, I haven't had too much stuff since then that I've like really, really like connected with. Like, I don't even connect with my own stuff that I make. Like, like, it's just weird. But
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really listen to too much music in my free time. Like, I went through so many stints of, like, listening to music so heavily. Mm-hmm. Like, because, like, when I was working more heavily with people, like, maybe, like, a year and a half, 2 years ago, mm-hmm. I would say was probably the last time that was, I would listen to so much shit that it's just way more relaxing to just sit in silence.
I feel that. In
a car ride or whatever. Yeah. Playing games, like, just silence, like,
yeah,
well, game sounds, but
yeah,
like,
or sometimes I'll put it on. I can't do, like, and you're maybe similar because you're making the actual sounds, but if I'm editing a video, I can't have something else on. If I'm, like, doing something, it is more peaceful, and if it's not the vibe, or if I'm not, like, coloring, or, like, maybe even color grading and doing something mm-hmm. mindless, it's like I can't have something else going on, and hours of the day go by that I'm not listening to music.
Sometimes I need something else going on too, though. It just depends, for sure. You know, like, if I'm chilling, like, like, let's say I usually edit videos in here, but if I were, like, editing on a computer here and it weren't, like, an important tutorial, mm-hmm. or it just depends. Like, if I'm doing a montage or something, I might have one of my buddies' live streams going or something, maybe on Twitch, but typically the way that I like to work is, like, having, like, an anime going on the TV, or, like, a cool movie or show like this, mm-hmm. turned all the way down, and just be working over here and have it to kind of, like, look over to whenever I want, mm-hmm. is pretty nice. But I think I'm finally kind of starting to break away from that, where I want to get more back into listening to music. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's pretty exciting, because when that inspiration's not there, like, there's just... Like how you said, you got super old videos that you probably haven't been, you want the feeling to be there.
Yeah.
You need that emotional, like, connection to it for it to really, and I've started doing that with people that I'm engineering. I'm telling people, like, you got to redo it, bro. Like, it doesn't sound like it sounds like you're nervous about being over here for the first time or something.
Yeah, you can feel it. I think that's what hit me about Juice as well.
Absolutely. He has that emotional... Like, his music is, like, all emotion. Like, mm-hmm. I had one guy, it wasn't Sab, I think it was my buddy Vondo, that he started recording something to a beat. Mm-hmm. I think it was a custom I made for him in the session. I'm like, just go home and write to this, bro, because this isn't really what I want for this song. Like,
yeah.
And we still haven't finished that song, but he knows, like, you know... It's just something that we're going to come back across sometime, and, mm-hmm. you know, you go through your unfinished projects eventually, unless you lose them.
And I feel like that it makes it, like, timeless almost, where, like, you're saying Mosh Pit and other people are, like, only the new stuff, and I have a lot of people that kind of are pushing that, and I'm like, but I want 10 years, I want you to pull up Ooze, or I want you to pull up a video and be like, this still is this, because you've captured it. You've mm-hmm. got this thing where sometimes people drop tapes or tracks or whatever, and I'll listen to it. That's cool. I couldn't tell you, you know, I don't want to listen to it again, don't need to listen to it again, and it's almost, they're working so hard to make these things that don't last, but put on 6 foot, 7 foot Lil Wayne from 13 years ago or whatever, it's like the same thing as if it was yesterday, but so much stuff gets lost because we all have to new, but I'm glad to hear that there is somebody who's like, no, this has to be good. Let's make a good, this isn't what you need to do on this song. Go make the song. Don't just, like, say some shit just to make a song,
just to say you got it done.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You got to focus on, like, the emotion and everything. That's so important. Like, mm-hmm. It's weird, too, because I remember I was on the complete opposite shit for a while, and because there's, like, a balance you kind of have to have. Taz Taylor talked about it, where, like, when he first had his big article that came out that he made, like, $100,000 or $1 million leasing beats or some crazy shit. There was an article mm-hmm. from, like, 2018 when internet money was, like, really starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Where he was saying that he's not attached to his music at all. He has no emotional attachment to it whatsoever.
Wow.
And, I mean, I feel like you can kind of hear it. I'm not, like, hating on him, but like, all those guys, they have, like, a very specific, like, niched out sound that mm-hmm. that's kind of all they make. I don't hear them make, like, a wide variety of stuff. They have, like, any stuff that they make at their house has, like, a pop vocal quality mix and a hard beat.
Yeah.
And a catchy hook. but
they've got it down to the science, the template, and
like Ransom by Lil Tecca, really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't connect with that at all. Like, it's just not like, it just seems like they had the Legos and like bloop 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 bloop.
Yeah.
But like the colors were like all mixed up. And it's just not like it's like missing something to me, you know. Super fire though, but those are like hits, you know, like that's a fire song, but it just doesn't, but I guess it's more me. I don't connect with it.
Yeah.
But the other kids will definitely connect and have. That song's huge.
Yeah. Or it could be, you know, the more I listen to music and the more I kind of talk with people and stuff, there's like a hit where somebody could go to make a hit. There is a science of this sound and these pitches and whatever, and
absolutely.
It could be the hit, but it doesn't. Lucid Dreams, or even I'm a big X fan, so like Look at Me. It's like the worst quality audio, the worst whatever, nothing, you know, whatever.
But emotion,
you can feel that, you know, whatever, and that's a hit for a different reason than...
Have you heard R.I.P. by Cardi?
Yeah.
Have you seen the video for that? Like,
I don't remember which one that one is.
The video's in like black and white, and it's just got people mosh pitting.
Yeah.
So fire, dude. Like,
yeah.
My buddy John Virgo brought that over. We were gonna work on a custom track together. He's like, I'm kind of feeling something like this, you know.
Yeah.
Him and I have like worked plenty in. Do you know who John Virgo is? That's my dude. He's fire.
I think the name sounds familiar. A lot of people I've scrolled past on Twitter or some shit.
Yeah, he's from Youngstown. Like, I feel like a lot more people need to be sharing his shit. He's like an incredible artist that like people love to hate for some reason. Like, he says a lot of wacky shit on Facebook and social media and stuff, but he is an incredible, like, so does Ellie, so does everybody else. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I feel like people need to be a lot more open to like people like him. People like him, let him, even if he's like a cocky dude but a lot of stuff he says is, he's just funny. The dude's super funny, and he just says shit to get a reaction out of people, but they get offended because he actually sounds better than them, and a lot of these guys are also like Youngstown artists. Yeah. But he showed me that song, and like, it's cool now because whenever I meet up with him, like, even just going back, like you were asking like where I want to be in 5 years, like, what I've been like kind of like searching for ways to get inspired by stuff, because it's kind of hard for me to just sit down and make a bunch of beats in a day the way that I used to. Like, I'm just like not happy with how stuff comes out. I feel like everything sounds the same.
And you're just in your house too. It's probably tough to like catch a different vibe. It's the same vibe all the time.
Yep, screaming kids, or, you know, dealing with like, and it's been kids. Like, I've been living with kids for the past like 6 years. 6 years for sure. Like, and I'm locked in for like probably like another 20 more like with him. So it's like, I really need to get like a spot, but I've been getting inspired by random shit lately, like photography, that secrets to color grading and photography that I showed you, like, that shit got me super inspired, even on music, like, but just through going out and taking photos of like, oh, I got this rock to look really cool, or I actually have a photo of dog shit that I took that I feel is totally fire. That's awesome. I put it on my IG and the caption says dog shit, and it got way too many likes. Like, but
you know what, I saw that and I was confused. I was like, huh.
Dog shit, bro. I was just messing.
Instagram's weird,
I was messing with the bokeh effect on my camera and trying to, I was like, dog shit. I was like,
dog shit and bokeh.
I was like, this could be like a really funny series. Like, what if I became, like, I could make a whole Instagram page dedicated to, and I could call it Photos of Feces or something.
Ooh, yeah.
That shit would, Feces Vision or something. I don't know, but I didn't actually end up taking more photos. I thought that's like really goofy, but I got like inspired through that randomly, through like a photo of dog shit, or going out and like taking a photo of like a tree or a flower or something, and just learning something new. I think that's like, because before, when I was cranking out music all the time, I had really, really bad anxiety. Every day I was having multiple like anxiety attacks, and I was constantly shaking. Constantly had to walk around everywhere. Like, I was going for walks all the time. and I don't like the way that I felt then. I like the way that I feel a little bit better now. I'm a little more leaning towards like the depressive side. And I've been through some shit since then too. My panic attack stopped like when my apartment got shot up. Like
shit.
Yeah, like the last place I stayed at, which was over in the Rosemary's in Akron, which is just a horrible neighborhood.
Yeah.
That was like where I recorded like 100 songs with Zelly at. Yeah, my shit got shot up, bro. I was actually live streaming.
What?
Yep, and I have a clip of it. I was doing like music reviews.
Dude.
It's really cool. I like to show it to people.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to see if I can get the clips. I'll overlay it. I don't know if it'll actually be in the video, but this is crazy.
Oh yeah, I can download it and send it to you if you want.
Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Slap it over top. Alright, I need to click channel. I'm stupid. Channel, videos, filter by all videos, or no, filter by clips.
Yeah, dude, Twitch has this, like, you'd think all videos would be all videos, but it's like, nah, you gotta do it by whatever.
Yep. So I was doing a music review and talking to people in the chat, and I was like, oh yeah, this song that you sent me reminded me of this. There's a certain song by, Cascade, and I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
I should just start doing... Oh, shit.
Right? So then I look over into the kitchen. I'm, like, sneaking around the house, basically, because I'm like, are they about to kick the door in? Are they about to shoot?
Yeah.
But I looked over in the kitchen. There had been so many, gunshots that went off out there that I just kind of became like used to it and desensitized to it, and I'm like, if I mind my business, they'll leave me alone.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't how that shit works, bro. They make their rounds and they hit everybody.
Yeah.
And they'll eventually hit your shit, and you just better hope that you're not standing in the way of a stray bullet, like, at any given time. That's what it's like living in the hood, bro. That shit's wild.
That's crazy. So it wasn't like they weren't after you, it was just they're just doing it?
I have no clue, but I know that there were a lot of teenagers and little kids over in that neighborhood that were just on straight bullshit, like, all the time. Like, but they, I remember looking over in the kitchen and I saw the drywall dust coming in, and like, you know, the light shafts from the, because it was through the door. Or no, the wall right next to the back door was what they fired through. It was 3 shots. They didn't hit anything. I still don't know why they did it.
Yeah.
Nothing happened since then.
That's almost like worse than like knowing like you just like these 3 shots in your life. That's
bro,
like,
I had my brother's gun literally sitting on my desk. That desk that I had up in Gabby's bedroom. I basically pretend I had my shit here, but my desk was against that wall. And then the back door would have been like over in that room. That was where they fired through when I was sitting in there, and I kind of walked over to look and see, like, because I'm trying to peep too and see who the fuck just did that shit. But dude, they're gone so quick.
Yeah. And you don't even have to be that close. It's a gun. It's like a knife or something. Like,
exactly. They know what they're doing. Like, you know, they get away pretty quickly. I never saw anybody with a gun, but heard so many gunshots out there. It was scary. You don't really know, like, anything could happen, you know. And in Akron, there's a lot of people, like, a lot of shootings in Akron actually happen in cars.
Oh,
too, which is a whole other thing. I had, I remember one time I came back from somewhere, and I was walking back up towards my house, and I saw this car slowly circling through the lot, right?
Shit.
And it was, like, basically 2 entrances to the parking lot the way it was set up, and it looped around, and then you could leave and then hit the road to get out if you wanted to. But he came through, passed me as I was getting out of my car, turned around, and I start walking towards my place, and then he pulled back in, and then I hear, and I like hid down behind a car because I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why is this guy doing this? They've done that several times, and they never fired guns, but bro, that's shit people do when they're like spinning the block and they're gonna shoot some shit up. And they want to get the fuck out of there, and not only that, but incite terror and scare the fuck out of everybody else so that, you know, they stay out of the way and they can, like, do what they want to do. But, yeah, dude, I remember after my place got shot up, like, I quit having these weird, like, thinking about death and worrying that I'm gonna die and, like, what could be wrong with my health because I don't go to doctors enough and stuff like that. And then it just turned into like depression, and I just quit like working on stuff. Like, and I think in 2021 I only dropped like 17 beats or like 19 of them, and I'm trying to do it on a schedule like at least 4 a week.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even sticking to this year. I've dropped like 8 so far this year, but I figure, you know, priorities, the kids and stuff. So as long as I'm getting something done and like kind of focusing on that, as long as I see him doing cool, like I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Because it's like a full-time thing with him, but I'm just trying to I'm digging for inspiration in so many different ways, bro. Like I was doing on my YouTube, I did this series. I only have one video in it right now, but it's called Productive Gaming. But it's basically where I game, and then I make music somehow. Whether it's using sound effects from the game.
I saw the RuneScape one. That one was sweet.
Exactly. That's the series. And I want to do like more stuff like that, and I like it because it's like I can play my games and nerd out and not feel like I'm wasting my time, and still be able to say like, hey, I made something really cool for you guys that I can share with you guys, you know, like, because the thing that sucks about just live streaming for 8 hours a day or whatever is like, if you're not, you have, like, if you really want your Twitch stream to pop off, you got to make it about them. Not about you. Like, yeah, they come because they fuck with you, but you got to make it about them. You got to make the chat fun. Like, Feedback Fridays were popping on my page because it was like, I'm sure you hopped in one night. I think we follow each other on Twitch, where it's just like, people love, like, oh, you're going to play my song for everybody? Cool. And I used to be like, you guys are kind of pissing me off that you only hop in here to send me your shit, but like you never hop in just to like hang out and talk to me. Me. I'm a selfish ass dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but and I was like, but why do I have to like not be okay with that? I hit a point where I'm like, that's actually really cool. Why not like, not necessarily capitalize on it to make money, but even just in terms of like building awareness for what I'm doing. If people are enjoying that, why not? Like, why not just let them do that, even if they want to unfollow after? Who the fuck cares? Like, who the fuck cares about, like, numbers and shit? Me, I guess. But, like, I'm trying to really break away from that, bro, and make it not be about... Because, like, I restarted my bot at IG. I think that's a horrible way to grow your shit.
But it's cool to... I've hit that same point, too, where it's like, I'm doing this. This is what I want to do. Oh, but you guys want something else, and I'm making this for people to like, and if you like this but not this, I should be, like you're saying, the niches and stuff like that.
There just has to be a middle ground, but the main thing, honestly, though, is just 99% how I'm reacting to it. It's 1% the actual situation, because in reality, like, if people were like, hey, do you want to, like, host a live stream, and we're going to have 15 people hop in, and you guys just hang out, and, you know, dude, even having them in Discord would make it 10 times more fun, but even just being the only dude talking, like, I'm like, okay, it would be way cooler to have a Discord going, which I actually didn't introduce until, like, later into my stream, but, I don't remember where I was going with that, bro, but
I think it was inspiration, consistency,
dude, live streaming, that brought me some inspiration for a while. I was like, I like the broadcasting, I like what I'm learning about, you know, all this stuff, like
it makes me feel productive. If I'm gonna play a game, I'm like, I'm gonna hop on and play I should stream for a little, and then at least it feels like I've created something versus or
I'll even edit a video or a piece of content. Like, I'll get on, let's say I'm like playing Warzone and I want to get a really good clip of me killing like at least like 3 people, or even hitting a really cool shot. If I can hit a really cool like quick scope or something and add a little bit of like speed ramping to it and make it look fun and exciting, like I can share that, a little 3-second clip. People love that shit. Like, so if I can just get one good shot off, and it might take me forever, but like if I just chill and do that, or like let's say I get a really good match or 2 in, and I like that little montage I dropped was just from like 2 matches that I did. Like 2 of the clips, 1 or 2 of the clips was from one match, and the rest were from this other match that I kind of popped off on. I had RuneScape up on the other monitor, and I'm like chilling, like,
yeah,
you know, I want to be able to kind of like love what I'm doing and it not be a big deal, but kind of have a balance where, like, I'm not gonna lie, I usually end up just clicking play now and having to relog back into my shit because I keep going AFK and
yeah,
focusing on my work. But I'm just trying to find ways to get the vibe. Like, even when I got these RGB lights, I used to just have, oh, the battery died. I used to just have these bitches on, like,
yeah,
just to set the mood, but that's low-key bad for the lights and generates a lot of heat, and then the thermostat's like way off throughout the house.
But I know what you mean. I'll even do that at my place too, whether it's just a desk light that's off, all the lights off, and the TV. They're just different playing things. You gotta
just
catch
tweaking things, bro. Yeah, cleaning up, like, or not, you know, like, it just depends, bro. But and it's just not as, I used to like be that dude, be like, yeah, like technically, if you held a gun to my head and you told me to do it, I could make like 20 beats in a day, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like 80% of them are gonna sound the same.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, like, there's just so many different ways you can do it, man. It just depends on like what your goals are.
Yeah.
How you're trying to make money. Most people that I know work jobs outside of the music they make. I don't. So this is like, I got to figure out like, how am I going to hustle this, or I got to go out and work at Taco Bell. So it's like, I obviously would rather do what I'm doing now because I can spend more time developing this stuff. But I've gotten so picky just with like not being inspired, and now I get why rappers will just go through tons of emails and not. I feel like I've never had a rapper listen to a beat I've emailed him ever in my life. That's literally what it feels like. But now I can kind of see why. You know, I've got people that have sent me shit that I haven't touched. Like, I'm not interested in hearing it. Like, it's just weird, bro. It's really weird how bored you get. I guess maybe that's what it is. It's just like boredom or something, bro. But I got really bored with making, because I made a lot of trap beats for a really long time. Oh yeah, the techno stuff, that really opened me up, bro. I was like, oh, that's really fun. I like making the techno. And then I remember another thing that kind of pulled me back into producing was doing like weird time signatures instead of like 4/4. I made some 5/4 beats and some 7/8 stuff, and I got that inspiration from Animals as Leaders.
I was gonna say, it's some metal and hardcore and stuff. They got some crazy stuff.
Prog metal, bro. They're literally like, they do a lot of modal scales and they do a lot of metered stuff. That's
mathcore, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're counting to 7 here, then 9 on the next bar, then 3 on the next one, type shit. Like, and I used to be like, that's like doing too much. But then I sat down and I made 500 4/4 beats. And listened to thousands of 4/4 songs. Thousands of every single song is 4/4, or it's like 3/4 6/8, which is just
fractions.
You can count 6/8 and 3/4 and 4s. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Even if it's 1 2, the phrasing, the long form phrasing would still, it all kind of feels the same to me. And I'm like, this shit's boring, and it's all major and minor. Like, I need something different, you know. And I made a beat one day where I just sat down. I had a 2 3 4. I had a 7/8 section. I actually ended up dropping the song. I have this like self-diagnosis project that I put on my SoundCloud that was a bunch of like production that I did. I basically wanted to drop songs that would like double my library, and because I haven't dropped like an album or anything. I have now technically with that. It's, or maybe like an EP or whatever, but I wanted like my iTunes and my Spotify library to reflect me as a producer artist, not an artist. That happened, I made the beat and recorded it and did vocals. I don't really think I'm the best vocalist. I want to focus more on my production skills and show off, hey, I can do this, this, and that. So,
you are a unique vocalist, though. I do dig all your stuff because it sounds different. It's like, all right, versatile, everything. It doesn't sound like, I'm going to try to rap or make a thing on this. It's like...
I made I made a handful of songs like that, but I have one song out where I definitely was like trying too hard, and I can totally hear it now, and like, but I'm not going to pull the song down because people actually like it, and it's still hard, but that was like, I definitely capped the most in that song too.
Yeah.
Like lyrically, and that would be the biggest reason why I pull it down, because I'm like, no, I said this bar, but I really am not making that much money or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to be authentic, I guess. But yeah, dude, I made like a beat one day, and then I added this time signature change where I went from 4/4, a little bit of what people know and love that are in this like scene that I'm in, and then switched it over to 7/8. And like at first it kind of created a problem, because I was like, well, it created a couple of problems, because one, how am I going to get people to rap on this?
Yeah.
If I'm going to purpose it as a beat leasing thing. And two, I really, really like this.
Yeah.
Which I guess ended up being a good thing, because I'm just like, I can just drop it as an instrumental thing. Like,
right.
Fire. Like, and then it ended up inspiring me making a couple other tracks that were intended for going on a project that's not going to have vocals on it. It's going to be a Spotify thing that, like, you can ride around and, like, listen to in the car, that's, like, just my production mainly, like a vibe, like how I used to. It's not quite like deadmau5, because deadmau5 makes like trance, where it's like way like two of his songs would be the whole length of that project basically. And mine was just like, a lot of the songs were like 2 minutes, some of them were a little bit longer. But bro, I noticed like when I made that 7/8 section, just hearing it switch over to there, and I put a like a nylon guitar patch from Omnisphere. I did an instrument there where it's like, seven. It's not like 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4. But that flow of that 7/8 section has that mystical like prog metal feel. That's it. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, it's like, it sounds so fresh to my ears, because I've listened to so much 4/4, and I'm classically trained, so it's like, I'm not just like, that's like all I know. It's just, I know that's what people will buy off of my BeatStars. And now it's like, it's all, I feel like things are finally starting to come together, where like, because I've also been having a problem too, where I feel like I'm kind of like lacking a purpose. Like, I feel like I'm not making enough of an impact. I got hella songs that I've mixed that I think are bangers that like I can't get videos done to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've hit like, and everybody's open, but like getting like the artist to connect with you and then get the play set up is just like, it's so hard to set things up, dude. And I have just songs that it's like, I just had, so I ended up going out and getting my own shit. And and I also like realized too, once I started dropping videos to grow my own shit, when I was like, oh wow, you can get so many hits off this. Like, video is like arguably way more powerful than the audio. Like in today's age with our phones and shit, like we don't have iPod Nanos anymore. We have our iPhones, so it's, or not, sorry, iPod Shuffles, the little those,
I had both, Nano and the Shuffle.
Like video is important, and I'm like, I just want to be able to do that, and not have to like middleman, just be able to be like, hey, link up, let's do this shit, let's get it done, like, and then with my first video being rushed, like, I'm not happy with how it came out. They were just like, part of it was like, I was a bitch, like I took way too long to start the edit. I was just, because I didn't want to deal with looking at the footage, like I needed a break from it. When I shot the video with that guy, I had to go out for my Sweetwater interview shortly after that, so I was super sucked into like studying this music tech book or sound reinforcement handbook, and trying to clean up for my drug test, which didn't even fucking I literally passed a bunch of at-home tests just to turn around and fail it up there at the job site, and I took like a month and a half off.
Dude, that's crazy.
It was a month, actually, a solid month, but
that should still be enough. Like, that's wild.
I don't know, but it is what it is. I'm not even worried about it, but now, like with this last video that's coming out with Sab and Swift, we took our time with it. They had like ideas of like, hey, we're gonna go here, then here, then here. They already had finished the song, so as far as knowing their parts, they forgot like kind of a couple. I think that's pretty normal when you're like performing for videos. You kind of.
I like it because I like that I captured this moment in time. This is a raw take. They forgot their own lyrics, and guess what? It's in the video because they're a real person, and I'm a real person. It looks cool, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of mine where they all fuck up their shit.
Yeah, a lot of times if they forget a word and they like glance off, you can like slow it down or like B-roll it into something like cool. Like, I like that shit a lot, dude. And like, oh man, just everything looked better. We took so much time to like get the lighting perfect. Like, I kept like, I was just back and forth. I would go look at the camera, sit down, blah. We would even start the shot, and then they start moving, and then I'm like, oh fuck, there's a shadow on the wall behind me. I'm like, how do we fix that? And then I just learned this when I did this last shoot. I know it's a very basic concept, but Sab had this shadow behind him. And I kept trying to move the light around. And I thought maybe if I backed the light up or something, it would make it go away. But I just had to move him away from the wall to make it go away. You know what I mean? I'm like, what an idiot! Like that was all. And I kept going back and forth trying to get everything like perfect. Like, but you know, we had a couple of these shots planned out, like the mirror shot, and then just cropping the thing right down the middle, and like that's always like a fun shot to get. And I took some photos like that. Actually, my girl's maternity photos. We took one right here in this mirror.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can see her like looking in the mirror at her belly. Then you can see her in the mirror, like admiring and like.
That's dope.
Yeah. I was like, and I'm like, that's like, just in general, I like shots like that for some reason. I know it's very cliche, probably everybody probably does it at some point, but love it. Oh yeah, I was really like, I have really bad vision, and for some reason I thought like if I have bad vision, maybe I wouldn't be good at color grading or not good at videos because I can't see shit. But that's really not how it works. Like, it's just my vision's foggy, like, but I can still see what a good shot looks like, and with glasses on or contacts I can do all the same shit. I definitely couldn't shoot without my glasses on or lenses, but I can't drive that way either. So
right.
It's like, but I just wasn't really sure. Like, I kind of felt like I had a vision for how I wanted things to look, just like I did with mixing. Like, I always knew like kind of like how I wanted to start off my vocal style mixing wise, and I can do a bunch of different styles now. But I always like the crispy, clean, like pop vocals that are nice and bright sounding. Clear. Like, that's like, so I always tried to do that, and I kind of had a similar vision for like how I wanted my shots to look. You know, and I might have kind of overspent on my lens and my camera, but I knew like how I wanted the shot to look at least. Like, you know, and I remember looking up some music videos that were shot with like the combo that I was using. I'm like, you know, okay, so he might be better at editing and color grading than me. So that is going to make a difference, but the fact that he was able to get this look with this stuff is awesome. So like, we're going to get this and just like try it out. And I kept digging into it, but not really knowing if I had it, like if I really had the vision or not. And now that I'm seeing some of the shots start to line up, and then seeing the reactions I'm getting from people where I feel like the video looks pretty good. I mean, it's not the craziest thing on the planet, obviously, but I wasn't really going for like 3D effects and like a bunch of crazy shit. I just wanted the shots to look really good, and I wanted the emotion to look like it's there with the artist, and we vibed out. We had a really good time, like, and now that I'm starting to see that stuff come together, now I feel like I have a lot more like kind of power in my hands in terms of like, you know, like I said before, just helping bring everything to life that I'm not only doing for myself, but for the artists that I'm working with, like songs and stuff. There's a lot of shit that just like, you know, if I could have had a video done to it, if I had, you know, 200, 300, whatever amount of money laying around, I would just like pay one of you guys to do it, but I don't have it like that, you know. It's usually up to the artist, like, and a lot of times they either don't have it like that or they're not interested in it. But the other thing is too is like the song I did with Someday Soon, I co-wrote that, and I like so it's like I think technically it's going to be like my song with him as the performing artist on it. He did all the lyrics, but I did the melody, and that's like publishing wise, the melody is half of the song. The song is lyrics and melody.
Okay.
And then the composition is the beat that I made, which is actually separate, intellectual property wise. But
that's cool. I didn't actually know how that all works, so that's cool to get the breakdown of that.
I've been getting a lot heavier into doing that stuff lately too with people. Like whenever I made that song with Someday Soon, I mainly just did the melodies, but I've gotten a lot more confident in like my lyrics and like my favorite thing to do, like what I want to do at the studio that I hopefully have opened up at some point.
Yeah.
Is I don't want to get it so I can work with more people. I want to be able to kind of do what I'm doing with everybody else now better.
Yeah.
Have a place where if people that are out of state want to come hang out, it's not at my crib, which is hella weird, and I've had it happen so many times. But mostly just to have some privacy, and I'll probably even take my gaming shit up there.
Yeah.
You know, have a fucking bouncer up there for the baby or whatever. Like,
yeah.
And be up there, because like I just want to get my shit away from the cats and just be able to change locations. I've been working at home for so long that it's like you wake up and you're at work every day.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you never leave that. Like it's constantly work. And then I decided to have a kid, which is like stupid, but like I wanted to have a kid, so it's like now it's really work. Like, and it's just and then an even bigger. And Gabby, she just turned 9. Like I've been with her in her life since she was 2, so it's like she's finally big enough to kind of do. She can even cook eggs and stuff for herself.
Yeah.
And now I gotta fucking hit the reset button with this guy here.
Yeah. So if you had infinite money, what would you do? How would you fill your time? Because you got your hand in kind of so many different things. Sounds like you're interested in a lot of stuff. You love learning.
Yeah, I would be making. I would be putting records together, probably, like, you know, hiring session musicians or whatever I needed, but like finding a vocalist that would sound good on this track. That would be awesome if I had infinite money. If I had infinite money, everybody would have infinite money.
Oh, I like that, man.
You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to put records together, you know. I don't really want to be like a superstar or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
I'd probably take some vocal lessons and, you know, just chill out. Like I really don't know. I mean, what I did would probably change depending on how I felt, but you know, in terms of music, yeah, I'd be wanting to like put like singles together, like hits, and like just regular schmegular, like just albums and singles, bro, like, but like high quality shit, you know. That would be so nice, dude. If I had money, like I would shell up all day to be like, oh, you need cover art, boom.
Yeah.
Because like, when the fuck are you gonna drop this shit? Like, that's what I care about, is like shit getting out there. And a lot of times, like, you gotta jump through hoops that cost money just to get, you know, even if you own all the equipment and you're the guy doing everything, you still gotta pay the electric bill, and you gotta come up with money to pay your rent. Yeah. So that you can have your home to be able to cook up in.
Yeah. That was my big, like, not trap, I don't know what the word is, but like I ran into that because I had quit my job at some point. I'm like, I'm doing videos full time, and I'm like taking on clients that I don't believe in just so I could pay my bills, and then I hate the video that I make, and I hate myself for, I felt, it was like, I said I'm whoring myself out. Yeah. Like it's like a whore, just like, yeah, come on, I'll do your video for you, give me some money, and it's like, I hated myself, it was gross.
No, yeah, I've been there, like that was Youngstown for me. Yeah. And it sucks too, like, yeah, there's just not all money's good money. When your rates are too low, you attract very cheap people. Yeah. Which is how it was in Youngstown. Like, I literally had people that I worked with for free. And then I start charging them 10 an hour, then 15, then 25. Then I start charging 25 plus mixing. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, but, like, people are also, like, ignorant, and they live in their own little bubbles and not realize, like I real life, like, don't know how have food to eat tomorrow for myself. Like,
yeah.
You know, while I'm here with Gabby and my girlfriend's working, like.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I started off and I wasn't including mixing fees, it would take maybe 45 minutes to record a song, and then another hour and a half, 2 to 2.5 hours mixing on the back end.
Yep.
Per song. Like I said, they're doing 7 songs. Like when I was 10 an hour, I would do 7 hours for $50. What a ripoff. For me. Steal of the century for them, but ripoff for me. And dude, folks would come in Youngstown, 6 deep, 7 deep, throw down $10 a piece. That ain't shit to them for high school kids.
Yeah.
Cheap little asshole high school kids that are high off Zans and fucking drunk off their ass, like, stealing out of my fridge and shit. Like, bro, life is a trip. Like, but yeah, that's you know, tough. Like, and I don't work with a lot of those people now because, I've had plenty of conversations with folks from before where, you know, I tell them my rate now, and then they like make a face at me or something. I'm like, bro, like, okay, you know, like I'm not doing that to be rude. Like that's what people pay me.
Yeah, it's helped me kind of cut down on the feeling like I'm obligated to take on every project, every opportunity, and they'll say, "Hey,
that's where it is you. That's where it is where you can be me.
Yeah,
is when it involves like your time, and I don't want to fucking work with this person. Mm-hmm. Now, there's always exceptions. There's times where like you might not want to work with that person, but your business isn't putting any money on the table. Mm-hmm. Do the damn thing and like go work with them real quick then. Yep. Like whatever. Like,
or I'll work with people for free because I want to. I'm like, please. I'm like, yo, I'll do a video for this song for free. Please, this needs to have a video. Like, let me do it,
too, bro. You know, the funny thing is like anytime I get on Twitter, not anytime, because I've thrown a couple deals at like. I really only have like 2 or 3 people I'm working with right now. Like I said, just because I'm not like.
You want to drop the names? Shout them out.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Six Shy, Sab that I did the video with. Like, I've been recording with him. My dude Carter, Young Cash. Shout out Young Cash. He just hit me up for a session. Shout out my dude Edvin over in Germany who sent me some shit recently. But,
Germany.
But that's really about it. And yeah, and Edvin, shout out him, man. That dude, when I quit my job at Sheetz and I got my microphone and shit, within like a month, he came out from Germany and he stayed with me for 2 weeks.
Dude.
And yeah, we did a project together, and that was like, still to this day, probably the single coolest thing that I've gotten to do, besides having Sweetwater pay me to come out for that interview for a couple days. Yeah. That was cool to get like an all expense paid trip somewhere. Yeah. I never had to, you know, that experience before, but yeah. Edvin was still better than that. That was really fun over in Austin town. He stayed for 2 weeks. He's like, really wanted me to get him a Cleveland Indians hat. Yeah. Because Chief Wahoo is like a fucking fashion statement over in Germany.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like American like Yankee hats and Red Sox and all that shit. We wear it so much, and hip hop is such a important culture, and anywhere that's not the U.S., they all have hip hop cultures, but they're all trying to be like us because that's something we actually made. That's one of the few things we can claim here in America, probably. Like, is hip hop, but it's huge everywhere else in the world too, and they all want to be like us. So it's like they model their flows, their melodies, like the shit they try and write about, how hard they try to sound, like blah blah blah, like.
It is crazy. I've seen music videos from other countries, and it's like, it looks, I can't understand necessarily maybe what they're saying, but I'm like, this is that flow like you're saying, or this is, I could tell you're trying to sound, you sound like G Herbo, or whatever.
You sound like French Montana.
Yeah, from some other country. It's insane that...
or he'll come over and he's showing me all these American hip-hop, like his favorite songs, and I don't even listen to, you know, music like that, and he's just looking at me weird, like, you've really never heard this? Yeah. But dude, like... We were working for free when we did that project. That was before I started charging people. Oh yeah, shout out Vondo too, man. My dude Vondo, that's another guy I was going to say from Youngstown that, you know, he was my first client that I ever worked with. Yeah. Is not my first paid job, but my first like regular guy that I met totally randomly that still to this day comes through, and he even makes his own beats now and
That's dope.
has his own recording shit. Yeah, like he I got him set up doing stuff on his own, and he's doing an excellent job. Like you know, but those are like the main dudes I rock with right now, and you know, here and there I have people come through that might send me mixing jobs and stuff, and with this dude being such a handful, like my main priority is just like him, I guess. But
yeah,
I've been kind of depressed over it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, stay-at-home dad is not like, I mean, it's not really cracked up to be anything. And on top of that, people kind of shit on you because they're like, oh, you can't make no money, you know, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, is what it is, bro. Like, I got kicked out of school. I don't have job experience, but I'm very good at what I do. And like, if it's a matter of like, do I work at Taco Bell or do I keep getting good at this? Like, I feel like this is a highly specialized, like, it's not necessarily it's more a commodity than a necessity. You're dealing in wants more than needs. Because mixing, I don't even feel is like really necessary.
Yeah.
Unless you want your song to sound better, why do you need a mix? You know what I mean? And that kind of troubles me a bit too, because it kind of feels like a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Like I'm selling like a dream to somebody, but that's really not the case. Like, that's just me being caught in my head, because like I've never did a song for somebody that they paid me for that they weren't super happy with the results they got.
Yeah, yeah.
And 95% of those people come back, like, at some point.
I have one question I have to ask before I forget.
Yeah.
This was our one question that got submitted on what I'm supposed to ask you. I want to say Lil Davis. I want to say that was
my boy.
Yeah, I'm supposed to
dude.
ask you, what is your favorite song about the stock market?
NASDAQ by Lil Davis. This fucking guy.
Yeah, he's like, he'll know what it means. So I was like, all right, man, I'll ask it.
Yeah.
Shouts out Lil Davis.
Yeah, that's my bro. Whenever I went down to Atlanta with Night Runner February or January of 2020, and I got to... I actually low-key just sat in the B&B all day and made beats. Him and Zenon went around and were shooting with people. That was where Zenon got like his Crash Rari video, which is really dope because Drake actually saw that.
Really?
Yeah, and hit up Crash Rari and was like, the Losing My Mind or whatever, I think that was the name of the song. He's like, Lose My Mind is fire, the video's fire.
Yeah.
And really cool, really dope considering he got like his Trippie Red video recently.
Right. Yeah, shouts out Zen.
Yeah, shout out Zenon, man. That guy's cool as fuck. He's always supported me, and he's showing love to like the video stuff that I'm doing now too, which is really nice. He's always been really supportive.
Hell yeah. Is there anything else we got to know about Doofdum? Is there any shout outs? I mean, we shouted out tons of people already. Anything else?
Nah.
Nothing else?
No, but I was gonna say, Lil Davis, that's actually, NASDAQ is like a song we made together. Like, when I was down in Atlanta, I mainly cooked up in the crib all day while they went around and shot videos. I didn't even really get to go to downtown Atlanta, which is maybe not a bad thing because I heard it's pretty bummy down there. But
yeah.
I cooked up. Yeah, I made 3 songs I think down there. I made a song with D Free, really fire artist that has a bunch of videos with Pat Banahan. I don't know if you know who he is. Yeah.
I recently got the Pat Banahan follow back, so
nice.
I'm pretty excited. Shout out Pat.
Yeah, his we were watching his YouTube channel at the B&B, and D Free had some videos on there and ended up bringing us some shit that we needed for that we couldn't find. Lil Davis did too. Shout out him. He came through with a blunt. But yeah, dude, Lil Davis, coolest dude ever, man. He came through and just hung out. Wasn't like, and there were other people that had come through to the B&B, and everybody's just hella weird because it's a bunch of egos and a lot of clout chasers. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about anybody that I went there with, but I'm not necessarily not either. But it's just this scene is what it is, bro. Like, I don't knock like the way anybody acts over anything.
It's
like
just
that.
People are like that in any.
But this dude came through, man, and it was like you kind of tend to feel like a disconnect from like everybody after a while when everybody's constantly acting like that, and it's always somebody pushing something like. But Lil Davis, coolest dude ever, man. He came through with a blunt and we chilled and smoked and listened to a lot of each other's music and just hung out and had a good time. And he split off that night.
Yeah.
Totally chill, no biggie. Came back the next night and we cooked that song up that's really fire. And I still want to do a video to that song. He was supposed to do one with Night Runner, but a bunch of shit happened that was very public on Twitter about, like, that kind of... around that time, so that really didn't end up turning into much. But yeah, good dude, man. I've met a lot of, even, you know, Night Runner, we had our ins and outs, but we're locked in and everything's cool. So you know I fuck with everybody that I'm working with right now and everything that I'm doing, even if I don't, you know, work with them steady all the time. Like,
yeah, it's
a really cool, like, I've started feeling like after a while, like, okay, maybe I am making an impact, like, you know, in someone's life, like, somewhere, like, that, you know, I'm working on music with, even if it's like Six Shy, my dude Thrill, like,
yeah,
he even told me himself, like, he makes music for himself, like, that guy just, he'll ride around and listen to his shit. Like, you know, so he wants mixes. He wants his shit to sound good. Like,
yeah.
And he doesn't want to mix. Like, I get it. I don't want to do web design, so I got to do that. Like,
I feel that.
You know, and so it's not really snake oil, but yeah, like, and he's happy with his shit, bro. That guy went out and he used to record everything he did with me, and now he went out and got his own shit and records at home, and we're making our best music ever now. That it's not like an hourly rate, or even like I have to pay a flat rate to go to this dude's studio. Is still like, how much of his time am I going to take up? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just touchy, man. It's touchy, like having relationships with people in music, because in reality, like, it's kind of business first. Like, I wouldn't be friends with any of these people if we weren't making music or trying to make money together or make art together. And a lot of us want to be able to spend more time making art, so we have to try and make money, so then it's like a business thing. So then it's like, all right, you're bugging me for this, but I'm doing this thing that's making me money. Like, you're going to have to pay me if we're going to, you know, do that and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like... But then it's like, it's just touchy, man, because you want to base relationships off of trust.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be friends with people, but then you can't mix, like, friendship and business. You can't. Like, there are some people that know where to separate it, and they'll pay you their rate, and then you'll take them out and buy them, or they'll take you out and buy you a drink after type shit.
Yeah.
Like, and they see where the lines are drawn in it, but then it's like, you know, anytime me and Thrill are working on a song, like, we'll talk about regular shit all day that has nothing to do with music, but then when it's time for business, we're right to business, and we're both very serious about it, and we get it done, and it's like, oh man, but dude, like, I'm so much happier that way than, like, trying to be friends with all these different people that aren't really my friends and they're really just business. Like, and I'm not even doing it to be fake. I just genuinely love talking to people and, you know, want to have friends. I never had, like, a lot of friends growing up, so it's like, this is the most popular I've ever been in my whole life, and I'm just like, it's nice having people to talk to and hang out with, whether it's in Discord or like, you know, whatever. But,
and like you said earlier, with common ground, we connect through maybe not even money, but just music and creativity. And the more people I talk to like this, the more it's like I'm recharged, because our brains think the same way.
That kind of stuff without it having to be like, you know, like, I have plenty of people that have hit me up to work that, you know, they didn't fuck with my pricing at all, and they're like, oh, you're trying to wax me, blah blah blah, but we're still cool. And you know, I think a lot of it is just me kind of maturing as a person too, because I'm very, like, definitely very immature. Like, I've been the type of person that if someone says one little thing to me, that's that PTSD, bro, and that depression, I'm not gonna lie, or the anxiety. If I'm having a manic episode, like, you can go from being the happiest dude in the world to being punching a hole in the wall, like, type shit, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, I didn't even really have any questions in mind, bro. I don't have, like, really too much stuff that I'm working on, you know. I got that video, Can't Talk Right Now, coming out soon with Lil Sab and Swift, produced by Splash Gang. You know, Swift recorded and mixed his part. It sounds so fire. He mixes his voice really well. And I recorded Sab. We made the open over here, and we're just, like, kicking it. But
Oh yeah. So is that big projects you got coming out? That's kind of the main stuff we can.
Yeah, I don't even have anything big coming up really. I'm just trying to get busy with like video content and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm shamelessly gaming lately.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm shamelessly gaming. I'm shamelessly starting to make some beats here and there again. So, I'm gonna keep finding like kind of the same old shit to do, but I'm like inching out into like some new stuff, dude. I really want to get into some like montages, like or get like really cracked at a video game and just be able to make a really really good montage by myself. That shit would be really fun.
Yeah.
Of like my own stuff, So, but no, I'm not gonna lie, man. Nothing big. This is the big man right here, Like,
yeah.
That's the only big thing I'm working on, really. So, and he's coming out pretty well. So.
Yeah. So far, so good. Everybody's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Let's we'll call it a wrap.
All right. Cool.